frost on car windows there through the valley on the car lots. As I passed them down through there, you could see it. So just so you know, you might face a little bit of a hard freeze in some areas, as we were warned yesterday. It means the end of the growing season.
Yeah, people bringing in their plants that they were all excited about. And, I mean, we knew this would happen, but it's when it happens, you're still somehow, it feels like you're caught off guard.
Yeah.
Why is that? I don't know.
I don't know either. I think you could argue that after the Brett Baer interview yesterday, it's the end of Kamala's growing season. Don't you think?
Wow, what an interview.
I think that has effectively frosted any hope that she might have had that she was going to convince anybody on Fox that she was up to the job.
I was so proud of the way he handled that interview.
Ask me any question. Go ahead. Ask me any question
what's your stance on illegal immigration?
Donald Trump.
No, what's your stance on abortion?
Donald Trump.
But were you raised in a middle-class family? Did she say that
Donald Trump.
She didn't say that one time. Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing. I may have been, this is how she responds. I may have been vice president for the last 3.5 years, but Donald Trump, he's been running
for office.
So he's to blame.
Now, Brett, you know what I'm talking about. No, Madam Vice President, I don't.
What are you talking about?
Tell me what the hell you're saying. Nobody watching this has any idea what the hell you're talking about.
And you know what's funny? And I was watching a little bit of the commentary afterward, and one of them said there was a point where Kamala made some comment to the effect of, like, whatever happens during your administration, you're to blame. It's like, perfect. I hope the Trump campaign has already snatched that up and made it into an ad for him.
Brett missed a couple of opportunities. And, you know, as I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself, oh, Brett, you should have done this. And, oh, Brett, you should have done that. And then afterwards, I get to the I watched the interview with Brett afterwards where he explains that they were supposed to start at 5. They didn't start till almost 5:15 or 5:17, and they were done at 5:35. He got about 10 or 12 minutes with her instead of 30.
Yeah,
he basically had no time, and she filibustered with her word salad and complaining against Donald Trump no matter what he said. Mm-hmm. Her talking point was, but Donald Trump.
Right. And so she would just continue to speak, really not saying anything. And then if he would try to redirect and actually ask a question, she'd say, I'd like to finish what I'm saying. And yes. I'm sure all the feminists were like, you go, Kamala. And did you see, too, that he was mentioning that all of, I guess, her staff was standing in front of him, off camera, of course, and doing, moving their hands around in a circle, which, of course, would indicate wrap, get out. You're done with the interview. So he's watching all of them pressuring him.
As a journalist who's been in that situation before, I'm sure you have, but certainly as an anchor who's been in that situation before, when you've got somebody giving you one of these because you were given X amount of time with the candidate, and then you've got to wrap up what you're doing and move on. You
mean like what Carl does sometimes?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what she had to do next at that moment. If I'm Brett Baer, if he's really thinking this through, he would have just kept asking her questions and forced one of her staff members to walk into the frame to end the interview. I'm not quite sure why he did that. At that point, I'm thinking, I've got no information out of her. They filibustered me to begin with because they delayed the start of the – he compared it, and I thought it was a good analogy, to trying to ice the kicker. Calling a timeout right before the kicker has to kick, so they have to think about it a little more. So instead of starting at 5, they start at 5:15 or 5:16. He knew they were done at 5:30. It just compressed all the time that he had into a shorter period of time. He should have just kept going.
Well, what he almost should have done is, and maybe this would, well, they're not going to get another interview with her, so let's be real. That was probably the only interview they'd ever have. But I almost wish he would have said, now I just want to be transparent here, because we value that here with our viewers. I see her staff off camera right now, and they're waving to me, signaling for me to wrap. But, Madam Vice President, you arrived here 10 to 15 minutes late for this interview. We were told we would have 30 minutes to chat with you. We're going to continue on. Yeah. I would have loved if he had said that.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't know about them wrapping him until after the interview.
I thought Brett did a fairly commendable job given the constraints of it. I didn't think it when I first listened to it, but then I realized what else was going on in the background, and is what it is, and we've got all the sound bites from it this morning. So we're going to get to all that for you. We got a great show. We got good stuff coming up just a little later. We're going to talk to State Senator Nick Schroer, who's uncovered some unbelievable stuff in a local school district that's going on with this DEI stuff. If you don't think your kids are being discriminated against every single day in the name of fairness, you're blind to what's going on in the world. We'll get Nick on here in the 7 o'clock hour. But right now, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
We've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president, and, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like, it's got to stop.
Yeah, that was it. He was talking to the panel afterwards, saying there are 4 people behind me giving me one of these big rap signs. And if you're watching on the Facebook feed, you see Carl doing that to me all the time. So Brett's like, that was kind of distracting, right?
You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
I thought that was probably one of the stronger points that Brett Baer made. He made it pretty brilliantly because he had just gotten done asking her about her problems with Donald Trump, where she claims he's not fit for office. Well, when did you notice Joe Biden wasn't fit for office?
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you.
Thank you. True. This is true. But Donald Trump.
Now, some St. Louis families are receiving monthly $500 checks again. The city's guaranteed basic income program is halted by a lawsuit, but the city says private money is now allowing them to cut checks again.
Yeah. Is there a Democrat alive that won't do anything they have to do to circumvent the court to try to give away taxpayer money illegally? I think that's a fair question. The Biden administration just announced they're cutting more student debt, even though the courts have slapped them down twice. The United States Supreme Court has said that's not legal. You don't have the power to do that. So they keep trying to find different ways to do it. And here's this garbage where she's giving away American taxpayer money from the COVID Relief Act in some fake guaranteed income where she's falsely inflating people's income for a year. And then when the money runs out, what does she think they're going to do? They're going to be poorer than they were when they started, number one. But the bigger issue is what she's doing is illegal. And I don't care if it's Jack Dorsey or whatever. They found some idiot with more money than sense who's funding this thing through November. Mm-hmm. One time it was Dorsey. Now they won't say who it is. Channel 4 said yesterday they had filed a Freedom of Information request, a Sunshine Act request, to find out the name of the donor.
Good for them.
I think that's got to be public information, right? How can you not give away the name of that individual? We need to know who it is. Is it Rex Sinquefield? Highly unlikely. Who else is out there in St. Louis that's rich enough to just fund giveaways to 500 people at $500 a month for the next month and a half?
I understand at times people need a leg up. For example, people who have been devastated by Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton, something like that. They should be getting payments like that, which surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, they're not. But in this case, you're just giving someone a fish. You're not teaching them to fish, and that's the problem. That's the problem with the way that the Democrats like to do things, is you think you're solving the problem, but you're not. It's a temporary fix. Who knows what that money is going to go toward? And once it runs out, because you haven't, quote unquote, taught them to fish, they're right back in the same position.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe you know how they say if you increase your income that it's not like it actually feels as though you are because you find more ways to spend the money, right? It's not like you end up saving a bunch of it. It's the same thing. They might increase their spending that amount on things that are not absolutely necessary. Yeah. Then when the money runs out, they're still wanting to live that lifestyle. So now they're actually in an even worse position.
Yeah, it's not. None of it makes any sense. It's a payoff program to constituents.
Wrap it up,
That's
Marc Cox.
all it is. And
Give him the signal. You got to do the hand.
Carl's
Carl.
in the background giving me one of these, so that means I got to go into a break, I guess. Excuse me, Madam Vice President. Your staff is giving me a hard rap over here because they don't want me to ask you any more hard questions because you can't answer any of them anyway. Donald Trump. That was her answer yesterday. All right, let's get to the national anthem here, Carl.
As requested by Amy.
Yes.
She wanted to hear Chris Stapleton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad strides and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular upon spur, singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Got some work this morning on the ramp from 60 or 70 eastbound to 64 eastbound. We've also got road work on 67 northbound past Clayton in the right lane. Moving stuff on 70 westbound at Zumble. That's in the right lane. And then at TR Hughes, some more work. And things are moving fine on most of the area roadways. 55, we've got northbound work from Lindbergh to Virginia. That's long-term stuff. And then 2 right lanes at Broadway taken out. 64 eastbound at 270, more work. And then on the ramp from 64 eastbound to 270 northbound. From the Cordell and Cordell Traffic Cam, I'm Trent Erickson at 520 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Let's talk about carpeting and flooring for just a minute. If it's something you're thinking about doing, I want you to consider Michael's Flooring Outlet. Listen, I've known Mike Reynolds for a long time now. He is a great guy, North County guy, started these flooring stores years ago because he realized there needed to be some new approach to how you did this, right? Not just selling somebody whatever you could get out the door and then hoping the crew that you subbed in gets it installed properly. That's not how they operate. You're going to get great information. You're going to get a great product. Many of the Mohawk products they carry are some of the best in the country, and they've got the ones that are stain resistant on the carpeting. They've got hardwood flooring. They've got water resistant flooring that is just fantastic. I had it in my bathroom at my old house. You're going to love it. So go up and talk to them about this. You're going to get that. You're going to get the follow-up after the sale. And I've had 4 purchases now from Michael's, and I've had the exact same experience each and every time. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. Include Michael's Flooring Outlet in your search. Go visit them there in Darden Prairie in West St. Louis County or Old Town St. Peters there at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. Online anytime at igotfloored.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let's talk to Bruce Lavelle about it. He's a former executive director for National Diversity Coalition for Trump.
Look at your schools. Look at your community. You've been voting 60 years. the same way.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
And a lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, I'm usually much more active, but since I've been in pain, I've had to limit the activities I'm doing.
You're listening to Janelle, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So he came in and he wanted to be able to keep up play sports with his kids. And from there, we figure out which arch supports complement those activities. I fit him with the arch supports, and as I followed up with him, he's messaged me and said, I took my kids to the park today. We're walking, we're exercising, riding the bikes, and those are all things that he wasn't doing before because he was in pain.
For over 25 years, the Good Feet store's arch support specialists have been helping folks to live the life they love without foot, knee, hip, or back pain getting in the way.
Our goal is to have that long-term change for them. That's what's most important, is knowing that you leave an impact on someone's life. And I like that.
Try them for yourself. Stop in for a free personalized fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Living in reality. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
If he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States. Why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
What does that mean?
Are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
Yeah, we didn't let that play out all the way, but she's like, Brett, you know what I'm talking about. Brett, you know what I'm talking about. He goes, no, I don't, Mr. Vice President. What are you talking about? Had no idea what she's talking about because nobody would have any idea what she's talking about. What does any of that mean? Nothing she said answered the question. You just said that he was the most deplorable individual you've ever met and a direct threat to the democracy of the United States. So what do you say to the 50% of people who support him? Are they stupid? Well, I would never say that about the American people. I mean, they finally got that answer out of her. But what you're saying is they're too stupid to understand that he would, be a threat to democracy. Somebody should probably kill him. It's probably what she was suggesting. I mean, that's the rhetoric that I think led to the first 2 assassination attempts.
Right. She, I would say, spews the dangerous rhetoric that she accuses Donald Trump of talking about at his rallies. And she really didn't directly answer any of the questions. Like, for example, when they were talking about the transgender surgeries for the prisoners paid for by the taxpayers, she would just say things like, well, I'll follow federal law. Well, what about Tim Walz? You chose him as your running mate. He made sure that happened in the state of Minnesota. Why would you do that? Well, he and I were going to both follow federal law. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
So what's your stance on that? Yeah. I'm not clear.
She's happy with the federal law, so she can avoid saying she supports it by just saying she supports whatever the federal law is.
Even though she just said it on that trans whatever she was doing.
Yeah.
That interview.
Well, that was from 2019.
Oh,
that
shoot,
was when she was.
They were flipping back to that.
Yes,
that's right.
That's when
okay, I thought she had just done one too.
When she was running for president the first time is when she made those comments that she personally intervened as Attorney General in California to make sure that a guy on death row who had murdered 2 individuals, who was going to die anyway for his crime, was able to get breast not augmentation. Get breast augmentation and get surgery.
I just covered a story like that. I want to say it was out of Indiana. So this is absolutely happening under the Harris-Biden administration. Do
and
not
they're
be
happy
fooled.
about it. They're
Yeah,
happy about
absolutely.
it. That's the thing about it. That's what they want to lie to you about all the time. I'm going to get to a lot more of this interview. I mean, it was sad that this was promoted as 30 minutes, and the Democrat Party that controls her knew how dangerous that was, and they were desperate to end it rapidly because they could hear her getting angry and melting down and not answering the questions, and they didn't like her being pushed on things like, when did you first notice Joe Biden's faculties appearing diminished? I mean, old George Clooney certainly noticed it, and you supposedly sat in meetings with this guy every day for 3.5 years. Are you kidding me? Of course you knew it. You were counting down the time till you could stab him in the back and take over. That's what she was. That's the real answer to that issue right there. We're going to get to Kim on a Whim when we come back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Navigating healthcare can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. The Navigator Project is here to help Missourians every step of the way. We provide free, personalized assistance with enrollment in the healthcare marketplace. We'll guide you through your options, help find the right plan, and get the coverage you need. Go to ma4web.org and select the Services tab to find a navigator. Brought to you by the Missouri Association of Area Agencies on Aging.
Well, Victory Men's Health has helped me out a lot over the past 6 years. I can tell you that because they pay attention to men's health. Honestly, nothing against your GP, but they've got a lot on their mind and a lot of different things going on. When you walk into Victory Men's Health, they're focused on you, on guys, and we don't take care of ourselves. Let's face it, you got a lot going on. You're working for a living. You got games to play and places to drive the kids and the family, and it just, you never get it done. So they take a blood draw. They tell you what's going on in your life. They tell you what's going on in your system. You don't have enough minerals. You're not eating right. You don't have enough testosterone. Whatever the case may be, they can fix it. If you're struggling with sexual health problems, they can fix it. And then you can live your life and feel like you used to live. Go check them out. They're even doing heart screening these days, cardiovascular testing. Visit one of their 4 locations. Go online today to victorymenshealth.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. This month, we're giving $18,980 off our homes in selected communities to celebrate 126 years of legendary quality and craftsmanship. In addition, our skilled craftsmen from the Mid-America Carpenters Union are offering McKelvey buyers up to $10,000 cash towards their new home for closing costs or lower interest rates. Combine these 2 incredible offers and save big on your McKelvey home. But hurry, this rare opportunity won't last long. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high. South wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
We'll find out today how much Americans were shopping and spending last month. Retail sales for September are released this morning. Marc Avalone of Potomac Wealth Advisors says crude oil prices have moderated.
There's a massive slowdown in demand from China. It's a combination of their slowing economy, their failed policies, and to some extent their reliance increasingly on electric vehicles. They are not importing oil the way they used to, and production globally is up. Even in the U.S., production is up.
Also today, there's the weekly update on the number of people filing for unemployment benefits for the first time, and the National Association of Home Builders releases its confidence index for this month. Earnings today released by Netflix, Travelers, and more banks, including Huntington Bank shares and Key Corp. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Got some work this morning on 70 if you're headed eastbound at 64. The ramp to 64 eastbound is down and moving road work westbound at Zumble. And then again at TR Hughes to see. We've got 55 on your northbound side, Lindbergh to Virginia, that long-term work, and then the two right lanes at Broadway are out. 64 eastbound at 270 road work on the ramp from 64 eastbound to 270 northbound. This report is sponsored by GL International Realty. Planning to sell your home? Work with the very best. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty will guarantee to sell your home at your price, or she will buy it. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. I'm Trent Erickson at 532 on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, let's talk about Pro Outdoor for just a minute, because I just talked to them yesterday. They're getting ready to come over to my house, and now that the colder temperatures are here, you need to get ready and get the winterization scheduled for your irrigation system. Listen, if you've not got this scheduled yet, you need to get busy, because they've got some great tips for people as well for you to make sure that you're not left out in the cold with expensive repairs on that backflow device that sits over there on the side of your house. Give them a call today. This is very important. If you've got a sprinkler system, you got to get this done. 636-692-4441. I'm also having them come out. They're going to come out next week. They're going to do that core aeration on my yard. So you can get that core aeration package and your winterization done all at the same time. You just kind of need to get on the ball here and not put this off anymore, because last night, in some places, they had a hard freeze. You want to make sure you don't get caught with your system still full of water if that gets really cold one night. 636-692-4441, or go online anytime. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. It's prooutdoor.com.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-373-0322. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-373-0322. 800-373-0322. Once again, that's 800-373-0322.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I've got great news. We're back with more on the Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
You know all those political signs you've been driving by in your neighborhood?
Oh,
I've even
yeah.
seen them on the side of the interstate. Have you ever wondered how effective are those signs? Are they really making an impact on who someone might be voting for? Because I've definitely asked myself that question.
I hope. I thought about that the other day as I was driving back from Arkansas, because there are a lot of pro-Trump and vote no on 3 signs up and down between I-44, between here and Arkansas. There's a lot of them. But does it really make a difference? I don't know.
Well, I know when you and I were talking about that, I had made some comment about how, in my neighborhood there's, I don't know, maybe 7 to 9 no on 3 signs, including at our home. And I think there's 1 yes on 3. And my take was, if the majority of your neighbors have a no on 3, there will be people out there who have no problem putting their yes on 3 sign in their yard, smack dab in the middle of the others. But there are plenty of people who are just going to want to follow the crowd, and they're nervous to be that one person who kind of goes against the grain.
Yeah.
So it, in that sense, could have some sort of an impact. Well, I have to give my brother-in-law credit for this, because he was the one who we were talking yesterday, and he mentioned this. He's like, how effective are those signs? I thought, okay, well, let me look into that. Well, turns out they've looked into this. This is a 2015 study. Political science professor at Columbia University. He said, yeah, they can make a difference, but it's very small. It's somewhere between 1 and 2 percentage points on average. So it's not going to be some earth-shattering difference. But if it's, say, a dead heat, that could be it. It could be it. A lot of it is name recognition, as you might imagine. And I want to get into that a little bit more, but I found an interesting story talking about kind of when this whole thing started. Listen to this.
Some of the first signs appeared in the U.S. during the presidential campaign in 1824, when John Quincy Adams convinced voters to put up his signs in their yard. Over time, they've continued to be one of the most commonly used campaign tools, even with the rise of digital media.
Well, and you know what a lot of these candidates love about yard signs? They're free. I mean, you pay for the signs, but it's not like you're paying for a TV ad to keep running over and over and over again. You pay to print the sign, which I'm sure nothing compared to what you're paying for some of these advertisements like the billboards. And then there you go. So have you heard of the Ben Griffin experiment?
I have not. Ben Griffin.
Ben Griffin. Okay. Here's what happened. There was a professor at Vanderbilt University who did this study in 2011 to see how effective these yard signs are. So what she did is she created this fake county council candidate named Ben Griffin. And what she did was she planted all sorts of signs with that name, Ben Griffin, on lawns, as well as this well-trafficked street that just so happened to be near a school. A survey was mailed out a few days later by the school's Parent-Teacher Association asking the people, the respondents, hey, list your top choices for the county's at-large council seats. There were 5 real candidates who were listed along with the fake Ben Griffin and some other made-up name. Listen to this. Nearly a quarter of the respondents listed the fake Ben Griffin among their top 3 picks. Not a clue what this guy stands for. Just the name recognition enough, I guess, made people want to vote for him. Isn't that wild that you don't even look into his policies because he wouldn't have had any, considering he was a fake candidate?
Right. Yeah, I would hope that people would see those signs and it would spur some thought, like trigger a thought, like, I need to look into that more.
You'd think.
But why wouldn't it? Why? Well, I don't think you would ever vote for somebody just because you drove down the street and saw the sign. The sign tells you nothing about them except their name and what position they're running for.
In fact, I read in this article that those signs that just have the name and what they're running for, they're way more effective than if you try to litter that sign with, pro this, anti this, whatever, because it's just too convoluted.
It's just name recognition.
Yeah, some people are walking their dog by that sign and they may take an extra few seconds to read it, but a lot of people are just driving by and you're not paying close enough attention. So the most effective signs, they say, are very colorful. And they just have the name, big old name right there on the sign with, what they're running for.
My favorite video on Facebook these days is where somebody's dog is watering the Kamala Harris sign.
I've not seen that. It's interesting because I think we're going to start seeing more signs because we're down to the last, not even 3 weeks away from the election.
Maybe, I hope. I think they were slow to roll out those signs.
What, the Amendment 3?
Yeah, the Amendment 3 sign, the no on Amendment 3 signs. I've seen a few yes on Amendment 3 signs. I saw a very irritating ad yesterday on TV with a woman who clearly appeared to be sitting in a church pew talking about family and faith and an ectopic pregnancy, and that we need to vote yes on Amendment 3 because we need to be common sense about this and make sure that other women can get the medical services that I got when I had an ectopic pregnancy.
You're completely misinformed.
It's complete lies. It's
lies.
A complete lie.
Right.
But she looks like a church-going woman sitting in a church pew saying this with a high neck collar on and all this stuff like she's some prim and proper churchgoer. No churchgoer should support Amendment 3.
I know plenty of people.
Abortion on demand.
Not at my church, although I'm sure there are some, but I know plenty of people, including a text thread. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but a text thread with somebody in the church, Catholic Church, and this is not just Catholics, okay? This is all, from every background. People who go to church on Sunday are still going to somehow think that abortion is okay. And it's wild to me. And a lot of the argument is, separation of church and state. Can I just please, PSA, and I tweeted about this last night because I just am frustrated with people trying to say this, and they don't even know the truth, guys. Separation of church and state was specifically designed to keep the government from interfering with the way that you're worshiping. It had nothing to do with preventing churches from speaking out on these moral issues like Amendment 3. So if your pastor or your priest is sitting there from the pulpit trying to say, this is why we can't talk about it, that's nonsense.
It's a lie.
Nonsense. In fact, that should borderline be, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, but that should almost be a red flag if you've heard nothing about abortion. If you go sit at that church every single Sunday and your leader, your pastor, has not ever uttered the words about abortion, that's awful. That's terrible. So people need to be speaking out about this, and the whole ectopic pregnancy and miscarriage care, that is so different than an abortion. Even with it banned in Missouri right now, there's still care for that. Despite what some moron, I'm sorry, but that's the word I'm going to say, despite what he tried to tell me when he wanted me to sign that initiative petition that they were, getting signatures for earlier this year. Thank goodness I knew my facts, and I said, you are lying. You are lying to me, and I'll guarantee you're lying to other people.
And the ads are lying, and the ads are lying on purpose, just like they're lying about, gambling, supporting the schools. Yep. They have no proof of it. I was shocked. I know he's being paid to do it. I was shocked the other day to see an ad with, I'm pretty sure, Ozzie Smith on it, encouraging people to vote for this gambling, this internet gambling bill. And I'm like, really? What? Are you kidding me?
How much was he paid to do that?
I don't know. A lot, I'm sure. But it looked to me, he even shot it in the stadium potentially, because clearly the big sports teams are all in on this too, because apparently they get a slice of it somehow. But don't lie to me and tell me that you're doing it because the money's going to schools. Because if you read it and look at my voter guide on 971talk.com, zero evidence that any money will ever go to schools anytime soon. And I explain all of that in there. You need to read up on these things before you go vote. Please, 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 please. All right. Carl's giving me I see people off to the
Wrap
side
it
here.
up, Marc Cox.
I see Kamala's handlers giving me a hard rap. So I need to honor that, and we'll get into more of this sound from yesterday when we come back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Watch for some work on 67 northbound past Clayton. You got a right lane taken out with some road work. 70 eastbound at 64. The ramp from eastbound 70 to 64 eastbound's also down. Moving road work westbound on 70. This is right around Zumble, and then to TR Hughes, some more road work. And 55, if you're headed northbound from Lindbergh to Virginia, you're going to find long-term work, and then the ramp to Arsenal blocked altogether. 64 in your eastbound side at the ramp from 64 east to 270 northbound. It's also down with road work. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cam, I'm Trent Erickson at 547 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck can take care of whatever's going on that you need upgraded in your backyard. You want an upgrade? Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. I love what these folks do over there. They're passionate about what they do. They take a lot of pride in the jobs they've done all over St. Louis. I don't know, since 1968. Yes, they started off doing fences and decks, as the name implies, but wow, you've got to go visit their showroom if you want to get a glimpse of what they do now. These beautiful sunrooms, these beautiful all-season rooms, the pergolas that they put out back. You know, you can let the vines grow up on it if you want. They've got some that are louvered now. You can control them with your phone or a remote control. It's really cool stuff. The technology is amazing. Maybe you just want a stone fireplace out there. Whatever you're looking for to upgrade that backyard, Chesterfield Fence and Deck has got it for you. They've got easy payment plans up to 60 months with no interest. And right now, call them and tell them you heard me talking about it, and you get 20% off your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Again, call them right now at 636-532-4054 or go online anytime to chesterfieldfence.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show wants to hear from you, and telling us what you think is easier than ever. Open the Odyssey app to 97.1 FM Talk. Click on the microphone and leave Mark and Kim a message. It's that easy to share your take.
This is a special alert to anyone owing the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes or with unfiled tax returns. Write this number down, 800-373-0322. The IRS has ended COVID forgiveness and they are cracking down. Call Tax Relief Helpers now to hear about our tax debt reduction programs. If you're facing liens, levies, an audit, wage garnishment, or already in a payment plan, we still can help you. You may qualify to have your tax debt settled for a mere fraction of what you owe or for other resolution programs. Tax Relief Helpers has tax agents available now for a free consultation. TRH has already helped thousands of taxpayers qualify for these generous relief programs, earning them an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. If you or your business owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands to the IRS, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Call our relief hotline now to see what savings you may qualify for at 800-373-0322. 800-373-0322. Once again, that's 800-373-0322.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
If he were a baseball player, he'd be batting 1,000. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
She didn't know what to say. She just got done saying Donald Trump is not capable of running the United States. He's a danger. He's all over the place. Well, when did you find out Joe Biden was like that? If this is what you're claiming against Trump, exactly at what point did you realize Joe Biden shouldn't be running for president again and probably has no business being in the White House? Oh, Joe Biden's as sharp as ever. She's still claiming it.
Why has the campaign manager not rehearsed about 10 variations of an answer to that question at this point?
I don't think it matters. There's no way they haven't done that. She doesn't have the ability to regurgitate anything other than the same 4 or 5 storylines over and over again. I mean, her handlers from 20 years ago must look at this and think to themselves, my God, she hasn't improved at all. How can one individual not listen to your advisors on how to handle this question or how to handle that question? It's not that difficult. If you know, she had to know what some of the hard questions Brett Baer was going to ask because nobody else has asked them yet. She had to know he was going to follow up on the incompetence issue, on the immigration issue, on the why do you hate Donald Trump so much just because he's Donald Trump? Do you think the people that support him are stupid? Why, I would never say that. It's the basket of deplorables. She's already described you as a deplorable if you could dare to support anybody like that. Somebody on Facebook the other day, in fact, it was a friend I worked with for years at Channel 4, and I love her to death as an individual, but she is absolutely dyed-in-the-wool, hard left, she just has no ability to get past her hatred of Donald Trump. She reposts some meme that I'm just so tired of his face and the sound of his voice, and I just want him to go away. And one of her friends replied to it, me too. I'm so sick of it. I can't stand it. I can't wait till he's not on the national scene anymore and blah, blah, blah. Didn't list a single negative thing that he had done. They just don't like how he looks, how he sounds, blah, blah, blah. And my comment to him was pretty simple. Wow. The party of tolerance speaks.
It's a good response.
It's the party of tolerance speaks. They're tolerant unless you disagree with them, and then you're out. Well, and they'll do anything they can do to silence you.
Then that's why they want to sit there and say we're the party of joy. Did anybody watch that interview last night and feel joy? Because I felt rage, anger, frustration, annoyance. All the things that are whatever the opposite of joy is, that's what I felt watching that interview last night.
I don't know that she changed anybody's mind with any of it. I mean, I can't imagine that she did. Listen to Britt Hume describing this last night. He talked to Brett afterwards. Go to cut 9, please.
In terms of how well she answered your questions, which were about the very things that have been raised about her, the thinness of her positions, her failure to explain her flip-flops on issues going back to when she was a candidate for president back in 2019 and 2020. She didn't give you very much, Brett, and you did a great job. Those are the right questions to ask. You did a good job of answering them, of posing them. And she, I'm sure her partisans would look at that and say, yay, Kamala. She fought you. But if people have doubts about her, I don't think that she cleared them up.
No doubt about it.
I think the people, her campaign would probably just say, well, look at her. She didn't stand for him interrupting her and treating her like that. That would be my interpretation of that interview from their perspective.
Madam Vice President, just out of interest, when you're talking about looking at the sky and seeing all the stars at once instead of just focusing on a single star, what in the hell did that actually mean? What point were you trying to get to when you go off in these word salad answers? Because somebody needs to say that to her. Your comments don't make any sense to people. You don't answer questions. You talk in vagaries about Venn diagrams. What does any of that mean? How are you unburdened by what has been? That's a Karl Marx statement. Why do you keep repeating it over and over again?
I wish I could see the list of questions Brett had planned to ask her had he had more time. The time that the campaign had agreed to give him.
Yeah.
Certainly there had to be more topics. He hit immigration hard, and rightfully so, because that comes back as one of the number one issues for people heading to the polls.
And the number one issue that Donald Trump owns her on.
Absolutely.
Is immigration. And she couldn't even say take any responsibility for the deaths of those 3 girls that Brett brought up. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to them. But Donald Trump. That's exactly how she replied to it. Unbelievable. Hey, we'll get to Tom Ackerman coming up. Maybe talk a little baseball, a little basketball. We'll be right back.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
Hey, it's Marc Reardon for Zero Res, and it's time to get ready for the Halloween season by eliminating all that spooky dirt, grime, and gunk that's in your carpets. Don't ghost your carpet this fall. See what we did there? Halloween brings out the best in people, but also the scariest dirt from foot traffic. So let's use Zero Res to get everything clean with a great deal in the month of October. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery. Basically, every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call Zero Res. Right now, you can get your entire home Zero Resified from the best carpet cleaner in St. Louis and get 3 rooms cleaned starting at $129. $75 off your air duct cleaning this month when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. Do not let a missed deal haunt you this month. Zero Res has a great rating, 4.9 on Google with over 5,800 reviews. Schedule your appointment today. Get the October special, 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res. Hey, it's Marc Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The road to the White House runs through TV. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
Vice President Harris in an interview with Fox's Brett Baer.
You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
From the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
The pressed on record illegal immigration. The vice president said the system has been broken for years.
And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources.
Now, in a Fox News poll, Harris is now trailing the former president by 2 points. A month ago, the vice president led Trump by 2, and Fox's Brooke Singman reports.
New Fox News polls also show voters prefer former President Donald Trump to handle this immigration issue over Harris by 15 points. Meanwhile, Trump slammed the Biden-Harris administration's border policies at a Univision town hall.
We're going to turn it around. But we want people to come in, but we don't want murderers.
At that Trump town hall in Miami, the former president also called January 6, 2021 a day of love when he addressed a protest just before the Capitol riots.
They asked me to speak. I went and I spoke, and I used the term peacefully and patriotically.
The U.S. has hit the Houthi militants who've been attacking ships in and around the Red Sea for months.
Long-range B-2 stealth bombers have hit 5 underground storage locations in Yemen. They were being used by the Houthis, an Iran-backed rebel group that controls large parts of the country. A senior U.S. official tells Fox these airstrikes were a response to the Houthis' year-long destabilizing behavior.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. More Americans are getting student loan debt wiped away. This morning, the Biden administration says they've topped 1 million borrowers with debts forgiven, despite the Supreme Court blocking the president's much bigger plan. America's listening to Fox News.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is, well, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. 6:03 our time right now, 43 degrees. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. The price tag on the newest vehicles added to the city of St. Louis's fleet are raising some questions. The city purchased 9 Ford Mustang crossover SUVs. These are electric vehicles and each cost $46,000. A spokesperson for the mayor says the city planned to buy cheaper Chevrolet Bolts, but General Motors delayed production. These cars will be used by the Health Department, Streets Department, Comptroller's Office, and Park Rangers. Workers at the Gap at the Galleria Mall are looking to unionize. Employees say they're doing this because of low pay and lack of respect from the corporation. Channel 4 reports a vote on unionization could happen in the next 45 days. And if they vote yes, these employees there at the Galleria would be the first Gap workers to do so. Missouri is among 3 states across the country pushing to restrict access to the abortion pill known as mifepristone. Missouri, Kansas, and Idaho filed a suit in a federal court in Texas. That's because that's where the case was returned after the U.S. Supreme Court voted in June to keep easy access to that drug. These states want mifepristone's use to be banned after 7 weeks instead of 10 and require 3 in-person doctor visits. Right now, no doctor visits are required to receive the pill. They also want to require that pill be given in person rather than mailed. It's 6:04 and 43 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues at home tonight taking on the New York Islanders at 7. The Dodgers shut out the Mets 8-0 in Game 3 of the NLCS last night. Dodgers now lead that series 2-1. Playing again tonight at 7:08, but just before that game, it is the Yankees and the Guardians for Game 3 of the ALCS. First pitch for that one is 4:08. Yankees lead the series 2-0. And looking ahead to the weekend, Mizzou plays Auburn Saturday. Also on Saturday, 22nd ranked Illinois plays 24th ranked Michigan. 43 degrees at 6:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got some road work out there here and there anyway. 70 and the ramp from 70 eastbound to 64 eastbound. That ramp is blocked altogether with moving work on the westbound side around Zumble. And then at TR Hughes, some more work. And 55 southbound. It's slow going right around 270. Your northbound side from Lindbergh to Virginia. Pockets of delays with long-term work. And the ramp to Arsenal is also blocked. 64 eastbound at 270. That ramp to northbound 270 is down as well. This report is sponsored by New Perspective Senior Living in Weldon Springs, where they offer state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. The New Perspective of Weldon Springs is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. I'm Trent Erickson at 6:05 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high. South wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
606, 43 degrees right now. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides. The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Hey, good morning to you. Glad you're with us here on the Marc Cox Morning Show. It is the 17th of October, and a few minutes after 6 a.m. If you're listening to the podcast, we appreciate you downloading that. You can go just wherever you download your podcasts, or you can go to our website or the Odyssey app to get that. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Rumble. We're live on Facebook and X this morning, so you can tune in and watch the show live there, however it is easiest for you. We're getting lots of comments on all of those different sites this morning. So thanks to those of you who are tuning in, and we do appreciate that. We got lots of good stuff for you. Coming up, we're going to talk more about Election Day. The voter guide is out. You know, it's up on 971talk.com. I've had people, reaching out and saying, how can I get my hands on that? Well, I don't know if I can make it any easier. All you have to do is go on your phone or on your computer to 971talk.com, and it's the first thing you'll see up there. It's got a blue and white banner on it, and you click on it, and you can print it. You can take it with you to the ballot box, and you can vote however you see fit. But the purpose of it is to explain these amendments. I'm telling you how I'll vote on them and what my opinion is on these amendments, and then you can make your own decision. Hopefully you do the right thing.
It's funny because I filled out my sample ballot from the primary and I brought it with me to vote, and nothing stops you from being able to do that this time around for the general election. But it's funny how I felt like I was like back in high school cheating on a test or something like that, like having my cheat sheet. But obviously, again, you can absolutely do that. But it just felt kind of funny doing that.
You have to, because it's a long ballot. And a little later, we're going to talk more about that minimum wage increase. We're going to talk to David Stokes from the Show Me Institute. He's the director of municipal policy over there. And I received something interesting in the mail today. If you're in the sound of my voice, and obviously this would mainly affect people over here in Missouri, are you a customer of Missouri American Water? Just out of interest. If you are a customer of Missouri American Water, there was a notice of a public hearing. These things often get sent to your house and you toss them in the garbage. Don't toss this one in the garbage. Because they're going to have a hearing on this at the state, and they're going to get it rubber stamped. But just so you know, they're trying to jack your water rates up by 35%. A 35% rate increase for Missouri American Water. They got a public hearing coming up. We're going to talk to David Stokes about that as well, coming up in the 7 o'clock hour this morning. Shannon Bream a little later with her thoughts on the Bret Baier interview with Kamala yesterday, because we've all got our opinion on how that went. So we will get to all that and more for you right after we get to our top stories, Carl.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Yeah. Come on. What's the answer? Well, Donald Trump. well, Joe Biden is sharp, but he's still in control. There's nobody in America who believes that. Nobody.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you.
Yeah, hello. But Donald Trump's been running for 10 years. That was her answer.
And I'm a bit disappointed that what I saw, and this is not to disparage Brett Baier, he was a little bit dismissive.
That was Sunny Hostin. There's not much that's sunny or joyful over at MSNBC, but Sunny Hostin is on there, and her opinion was Brett Baier was dismissive of her when she talked about how dangerous Donald Trump was.
I should note, we did not find a single person who audibly would tell us that they voted for Kamala Harris. These were Trump supporters getting out to vote early in the all-important Mojave County.
Yeah, the early voting is underway and around the country, right? And there was a lot of early voting going on in Georgia, of course, CNN, MSNBC, and that's good news for Democrats. But they desperately want you to believe that, right? But what they did is they ran out to interview people who were voting early in person. It's already underway in some of those states, and that was in Arizona, the soundbite you heard from there. So in Arizona, the MSNBC went out to a polling place to talk to people who went to vote in person and vote early. And the reporter really didn't quite know how to break this to the anchor, but what he found was not good news for their point of view on this whole election. Go ahead and play cut 13, Carl, please.
And I should note, we did not find a single person who audibly would tell us that they voted for Kamala Harris. These were Trump supporters getting out to vote early in the all-important Mojave County. Take a listen to some of our conversations.
Well, the difference is going to be that everybody's coming out early, and everybody that we talked to has made a special effort this year to vote, and you can see it here in the parking lot. This library's usually got 5 cars in it. There's a ton of cars in it now.
So you voted early for the first time?
For the first time.
Why did you vote early this year?
Honestly, because Donald Trump told me to. What a good answer. He keeps saying it, and I've been thinking about it, and so here I am.
We met one man who did not vote in 2020, but he said he was horrified by the state of the country, so he is voting here in 2024. We met 3 other voters, one that moved from California, one that moved from Oregon, blue states, who said that they moved here and were eager to vote. So it's those types of voters that not only Republicans are watching come to the polls, but also Democrats have a close eye, understanding that they need to really win the Maricopa County area to make up for any potential juicing of turnout here among the MAGA faithful in places like Mojave County.
Juicing. If the Republicans get early turnout in any election, it's juicing. But if the Democrats do it, it's normal.
I think that, I know that every election we say this, but I mean it, that we could have record turnout. I think this is such a polarizing election with 2 very different candidates.
Yeah. You're right. I think there will be. But I was encouraged by the one lady who sounded like maybe she smoked a couple packs of Marlboro before she did that interview, that Donald Trump told her to show up early, and by golly, she did. I mean, I hope that message is getting out. Don't be afraid to go early. I'm with Kim. Kim said this yesterday. Couldn't agree with her more. I feel patriotic when I go to the voting booth on Election Day and vote. I feel I've done my duty. But just because I did it a day or 2 early doesn't mean, I like being out there among the people, but what if you show up on Election Day and you've got some time constraint? Either plan right now not to have a time constraint, or if you think there's a possibility that you might not get to the polling place until 6 o'clock and the polls close at 7, go the day before. Go 2 days before. 2 days before would be Sunday, because this will be on a Tuesday. Go the previous Friday, because after October 22nd, you'll be able to vote in person without an excuse early in most polling places in Missouri and Illinois.
Are people still giving the stickers out? People love the sticker.
Yeah,
So
you
they
can still get your
they
sticker.
can post their picture. You know what you can do? Whip out your phone and play the national anthem as you're walking into that polling location. And then you get that sticker and you take your picture and you can still feel patriotic. That's what I'm telling myself.
I'm with you, and I hope that people will do that. I really do, because the ballot is long. And the people in front of you who weren't as smart as you and didn't download the Marc Cox voter guide and know how they're going to vote before they get there are going to take 45 minutes or an hour to fill that out. The lines will be huge. Avoid that by voting early. We're going to be back in just a minute.
What's your name?
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We've got work on 67 northbound past Clayton, taking out a right lane, and 70, the ramp from 70 eastbound to 64 eastbound is down. We've got a stall westbound on 70 at Hanley, that's in the right lane, and then your work goes from around Zumble and TR Hughes, a couple of lanes taken out there, with overnight construction still working on that. 55 northbound, long-term stuff from Lindbergh to Virginia, then the ramp to Arsenal's blocked, southbound side slow approaching Germania with more work, and then 64 westbound, the ramp from 64 eastbound, make that to northbound 270, that is blocked with work. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cams, I'm Trent Erickson at 617 on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, Grill Master Tony, what a great guy. In fact, Grill Master Tony delivered food here to the radio station yesterday. Did you know that, Kim? After we left.
I missed this.
After we left, Grill Master Tony delivered food to the radio station for our sales staff yesterday. We didn't get any, and I'm a little angry about that. But still, I love Tony. There's nothing against Tony. It just shows you what demand he has for his catering and the delicious food that he makes. And right now, he will set you up for Halloween, whatever you got going on in a couple of weeks when it's Halloween time. How about a bowl of brisket chili with beans? To feed at least 10 people, 10 pounds of those big jumbo wings that he makes, the 50 to 60 drumettes and the flats in there, and, of course, 4 pounds of pulled pork with the buns and the sauce and all of that great stuff. You need to try some of this food for yourself, because once you do, you'll be back again and again and again. You're going to love Grill Master Tony for your corporate or personal catering needs. Go to grillmastertony.com.
97.1 On Command. Just tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk, or download the Odyssey app and stay on top of everything happening anytime, even when you're not close to a radio.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you don't need the biggest law firm. You need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis, is the insurance company playing games, trying to deny the medical treatment you need, refusing to pay your lost wages. Let Onder Law fight for the benefits you deserve. Injured on the job? Call Onder Law for free. 314 or 618-9-MILLION. That's 314 or 618-9, all zeros.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty, reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much. But the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Smashing his guitar at the end of every segment. Marc Cox. The Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
Well. I want to play something for you. I want to take you back a couple of weeks to the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And the important thing to know about this is that, once again, Donald Trump got fact-checked repeatedly during that debate. And this was one of the times when that happened. Listen to this.
Crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. And it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But
Excuse me, the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. They didn't include the cities with the worst. Crime is down all over
Yeah. So he gets fact-checked by David Muir. Mr. President, you know that the FBI says crime is down. And he goes, no, it's not. They're lying to you. Why do you believe that's crap? But, of course, the debate went on, and Kamala's over there smirking at him like, crime is down. It's been down during our administration. And then this headline yesterday. One is from the New York Post, the other the Washington Examiner. Many in the media will simply ignore it. The FBI quietly revises crime statistics and reveals a rise in violent crime now that the 2022 crime data has all been collected. Guess what that means? Donald Trump was right and David Muir was wrong, because David Muir's default position is to believe whatever garbage the Biden-Harris administration and the deep state feed to him, because they are useful idiots for the people in power. I'm sorry, but everybody knows this. Donald Trump knows it. They for years have not included crime data from cities like St. Louis in many cases, where the way they categorize crime in the city is different than the way the FBI categorizes crime. Right? So we know, for example, if there are 50 car break-ins at a lot down here by Enterprise this weekend during a hockey game, it will be recorded as one incident, not 50. So the crime, we don't even know how high the crime rate might be because they don't categorize these things properly. And then the FBI doesn't take it because it doesn't fit the way they categorize crime. So lo and behold, here are the new crime statistics from 2022. An investigation by Real Clear Investigations found that the FBI quietly updated its 2022 crime stats in September, showing that rather than a 2.1% drop in violent crime as originally reported, the United States actually experienced a 4.5% rise in violent crime. The new data set showed thousands more murders, rapes, robberies, and aggravated assaults. The 6 percentage point change is unprecedented in recent FBI statistic reporting, according to William and Mary professor Carl Moody. I have checked the data on total violent crime from 2004 to 2022. There were no revisions from 2004 to 2015. From 2016 to 2020, there were small changes of less than 1 percentage point. The huge changes in 21 and 22, especially without an explanation, make it difficult to trust the FBI data.
People, I feel like, accuse conservatives of always wanting to deny some of this information that comes out from, in this case, the FBI. Well, this is it. This is the reason. This is why we're saying these things that the left wants to say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Well, guess what? 6 months later, that ends up being fact.
Well, what happened with the jobs reports?
Oh, well, Mark, it was only like, what, 18, what was it? 818,000.
Yes.
Yeah, just a small, few jobs here and there, almost a million, biggie.
I love the headlines. The FBI quietly revises 2022 crime data. the smugness of the mainstream media in this country to swallow hook, line, and sinker whatever the government tells them, unless it's Donald Trump, is concerning. You talk about a danger. You talk about an enemy within. I don't know how you avoid the conclusion that if you've got somebody who's basically a talking head for whatever the government feeds them, you're talking about Pravda. You're talking about what happens in Russia or Venezuela, where the media is completely state-controlled. They don't report things that the government doesn't want them to report. Now, there are clearly occasional exceptions to that. But for the most part, we know the Biden administration working with big tech companies who are, at the time, were all on board with them at Twitter and Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, Google, YouTube, to suppress stories they didn't like, stories that ended up being true, like the laptop, like ivermectin. The list goes on and on and on. And Kamala Harris got her most angry yesterday when you ask her that they're lying to the American people. This is the president of the United States. He's not supposed to describe an enemy within. There are clearly people in this country who do not have your best interest or my best interest at heart. And many of them are feeding false information to the gullible mainstream media who are happy to repeat it because they support the other side. Wake up. Wake up. Take it all with a grain of salt, because you got to know if it's coming out of David Muir's mouth, it's probably something the Biden and Harris administration wanted to come out of David Muir's mouth. We're going to be back with Tom Ackerman right after the break.
Tired of those pesky moments when you're streaming your favorite shows? Well, say hello to i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with parental controls. You can manage your kids' screen time, filter content, and keep an eye on their online adventures. All with no annual contracts or hidden fees. Just insanely fast internet and a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 877-976-0711 or log on to i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and proud to serve St. Louis.
All right, time for me to talk about my friends Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisor Group, and, of course, Thomas Helbig, who founded the Retirement Advisor Group. You're not going to meet two nicer, more down-to-earth people in your lives. They're fantastic. We were sharing stories about our grandchildren the other day. If you are in retirement, if you're almost in retirement, I got to say, you're missing out on an opportunity to get some good, solid information you need when you step away from the work world, when you're concentrating on grandchildren and all this other stuff. You don't want to be sweating the market going up and down. Go sit down with Bob or Tammy or Thomas and just let them explain what they do, how they do it, how they build income strategies for people in retirement so you don't outlive your money. If you're 59 and a half, you've hit a key point in your life. Talk to them about that as well. You can protect your nest egg there in your 401k from taxes. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high. South wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Good morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. Now at 6:30, it is 43 degrees. The city of St. Louis is resuming payments to low-income families, now with help from a private donor. Last year, the city allocated millions of dollars from the American Rescue Plan to provide $500 a month to families for 18 months. The Holy Joe Society filed a lawsuit accusing the city of violating the state constitution by using public funds. The private donor is now funding that program for 540 families. Well, some people passing through Chesterfield are not thrilled with the state's latest efforts to get drivers to slow down. The Missouri Department of Transportation has added curb bump out islands that extend out from the shoulder of the road. These are part of MoDOT's regional safety project and will also include adding more guardrails, signage, and some changes to traffic signals in St. Louis County. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the New York Islanders tonight at 7. The Dodgers shut out the Mets 8-0 in Game 3 of the NLCS last night. They're playing again tonight at 7:08. Just before that game, it's the Yankees and the Guardians for Game 3 of the ALCS. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Much for a crash reported at West Florissant and Lucas Hunt. We've also got slowdowns with roadwork on 70 eastbound. The ramp from 70 east to eastbound 64 is down. And then we've got a stall on westbound 70 at Hanley. That's in the right lane. And then roadwork at Zumble and T.R. Hughes. And 55 if you're headed northbound from Lindbergh to Virginia. Long-term roadwork in the ramp to Arsenal is blocked. Your southbound side slow approaching Germania. 64 eastbound. The ramp from 64 east to 270 northbound. That's down with roadwork as well. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cams, I'm Trent Erickson at 6:32 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey, let's talk about Charles Payne. You heard him on here yesterday. What a great guy. Just as down to earth as anybody you've met. And he's got a book out. It's actually his second book, and he's giving it away. So if you wonder how people like who are successful investors like Charles do it, this is the answer right here. All you have to do is text my last name, Cox, C-O-X, to 505-505, and he'll send you a free copy of the book. It couldn't be any easier. You pay shipping, which is going to be $5 or $6, I don't know, something like that. But you're getting a $30 book for free, and then you sit down and you read it, and you'll see what he's doing in today's stock market. And it doesn't matter if you invest through a broker, on your own, your 401k. These strategies are delivering. So get your free copy today. If you don't believe me, go to Amazon, search for Unbreakable Investor. It's a $29.95 book. You can get it for free by texting my name, Cox, to 505-505.
You can help those affected by this disastrous hurricane season by visiting redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Message and data rates apply. Together, we can help those who've been affected. Thanks for helping. Conservatives Care on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of 3, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner in these uncertain economic times, you struggle to guard your life's work against unexpected challenges. But can it withstand the sudden disruption of a divorce? When your hard-earned work is at risk, count on our experience and advocacy in handling these matters at Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of our Missouri or Illinois attorneys. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Town & Country, Missouri, 63017. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Always giving you more. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Great sportsman like Tom Ackerman.
Baseball's really not a hard sport.
It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
It's like powered by coffee this morning.
Sports, sponsored by McDonald's, reminding you to round up your total for Ronald McDonald House charities on your next order.
All right, Tom Ackerman in studio with us this morning, back off the sick list, right? Glad you're feeling better,
I did
my friend.
work, though, through it. I don't know. The voice never left, but bronchitis, man. Bronchitis is tough.
That's serious.
But I got to do some sports from home. I did the show at home on Sunday. I did the show Monday and Tuesday, Total Information AM from the basement doing sports.
And with us.
And with you. Yeah. So I was able to do it, but, it's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, you just doing the full show I did yesterday, and that was the first time I had done that. I could not have done that Tuesday, but I did it yesterday. It was good. Yeah. Saturday, I knew I was in trouble because I couldn't get out of bed, but what timing. I mean, college football all day long.
That's rough.
That was not bad.
Just rough.
Not a bad
that's
deal.
True.
So
I was just looking at a preview of number 19 Mizzou playing Auburn coming up, right, this weekend. And that'll be a big one.
It should be a good game. Auburn's not very good. They're 2-4, 0-3 in the league, but they're desperate. When you play a desperate team like that, they have to win to save their season, basically. They can't go 2-5. And Hugh Freeze, there's a lot of pressure on them. They have some talent. And Missouri has not been able to blow out anybody except UMass and Murray State and Buffalo. They've played close games. BC challenged them. They got it done. Vanderbilt, it turns out to be a pretty good team. They got them in double overtime. Then they get smoked at Texas A&M. They come back, play a nice, solid game. But, man, did they dodge one. I mean, Luther Burden almost got his head taken off. He ended up it was a high throw by Brady Cook. Just not a good throw. A dangerous throw to the best player on your team, one of the best in the country. He falls, hurts his left shoulder. He's been in non-contact jersey during practice, but is expected to play Saturday. You lose Luther Burden, your season's done. I mean, he is the best player on the field every time you take the field, except maybe when they play Alabama. They've got some good ones.
I heard Coach Drink say he just does whatever we need him to do.
He's unreal. I mean, we talked about it last week. Get him the ball. I mean, at least let him run it, something. So what is the first thing they do against UMass? They run a jet sweep around the left side, and Burden takes it to the house for a 61-yard touchdown. And if you watch the play, there's no blocking on the play at all. I mean, this is just all Burden just weaving through people like they're traffic cones. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's an incredible player. He's going to be a great NFL player. One of those guys who will excel in the NFL at yards after the catch. That's where he makes his money in the NFL. He will make the catch, and he's going to make you miss. He's going to use his size and to break tackles. He is remarkable. He really is.
I noticed, because I noticed these things, Kentucky's Midnight Madness the other night. Mm-hmm. I know the preseason SEC rankings are out. And, again, the preseason college basketball rankings are out. Kentucky's several notches below Indiana, so I want to give you an opportunity to brag about that.
Well, I will say Kentucky will be fine. I
know you say that every time.
They're loaded. Yeah. The SEC is loaded. I mean,
Alabama's
awesome.
number one, right?
Alabama is 2. Kansas is number 1.
Okay, all right.
I will say this is the best Indiana roster that I have seen in over a decade. This is a very, very good Indiana roster. Now, whether they'll be able to play together and stay healthy, but I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, they got the Arizona transfer, Umar Ballo, 7-footer. He is
really?
Oh, he is big time. I mean, he is a scorer, rebounder. He'll be in line for Big Ten Player of the Year. And if their backcourt can do what I think they're going to do, handle the ball, shoot threes, that's going to be a really good team. Really good team.
I saw your tweet the other day that said something about, it was a really sweet picture of your family, and it said something like, well, nothing was good about that game for the Blues home opener except for this picture. Were they at the game?
Yeah. I was just showing the picture to Carl. There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that's a sweet picture.
Is our camera on? Yeah. I don't know if you can see that.
Nice. It's actually the clearest thing in there.
Oh, okay. It was nice. Not being able to go to the home opener, was a bummer, but the game didn't go so well.
No.
A lot of things didn't go well. They had a couple of goals taken away from them. One of them, early whistle. Kyrou probably should have been credited with that goal, but an early whistle, it's a judgment call there. Suter had one taken away, but it was just a hair too late. But otherwise, Nick Leddy, who now has what they're describing as a lower body injury, let a couple of guys go by him. The Blues missed a lot. Robert Thomas whiffed on a couple of chances. Yeah, they just had a bad game. But it was really great to get the pick. It was my wife and daughter, my youngest daughter, got to go to the opener. So,
are you going tonight?
No, I'm not going tonight, but I'll be there.
I'm going tonight.
Actually. Are you?
Oh, I didn't know that, Mark.
Carl.
Good.
Yeah.
Are they
There'll be
favored
lots
to
of
win?
Van Halen played in the bumper music tonight.
I played Mas Tequila on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Are
Thank
they
you, Carl.
supposed to beat the Islanders tonight?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's the NHL. I mean, I don't know what to make of the Blues yet. I can't say that they're a great team or not a great team. I mean, they've trailed in every single game. I mean, they've come back in a couple of those games, but they're 2-2, and that's about where they are. There's a lot of uncertainty about them from my perspective. They will play them, and they'll play Carolina on Saturday. So they get challenged by a couple of Eastern Conference teams, and we'll see where they are. But I love the fact that hockey's back. I love the fact that Carl's back in there, that the building's going again. It's a good thing.
Meet me
Carl's
in St.
happy.
Louis.
Carl was wearing his hardware the other day, is showing off that ring from the Stanley Cup.
2019.
Nice.
That was such a cool experience to cover that. I was still at Channel 4 at the time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I just hope we get one of those experiences again, and I'm not feeling confident about it so far. I know it's still early in the season, but
that was their last of their run on KMOX that year, and so we just ate up every second of it.
The last game on KMOX was them winning the Stanley Cup.
It was incredible. It was absolutely storybook.
We went Blues.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, we cried. I mean, it was just incredible.
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
I love you so much. I've seen you at so many places.
He was not supposed to be on mic.
I know he wasn't. It was still great.
He wasn't. You know the story behind that, right?
I do.
no, I don't. I don't
Quick
think.
story. So Kelly Chase told me that he was with Brett, and Brett's like, "Come on, buddy. Let's go up there." And Chase is like, "No way." And
He
Brett
was told not to go up
Brett
there.
just goes up on stage, and takes
Who's
the
gonna
mic and
stop
starts
him?
going
He's
because
Brett Hull.
nobody was up there at the time.
Yeah.
And so he just takes the mic and starts talking, and Doug Armstrong came up to Chaser and Curbs and a couple of other guys like, "You got to get him off stage." And they were like, "No way, we're not getting him off stage." And they asked the police who were standing there like, "How did he get up there?" Like, "I don't know, it's Brett Hall."
It's Brett Hall. We're not going to stop him.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
It turned out to be
royalty.
an incredible memory.
It did. Tommy, thank you, man. Now you got to go.
See you guys.
All right, thanks. All right, here you go.
Glory, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. I think I got your number, Gloria.
See, when he was a player, he would burn off all that alcohol the next day.
Oh, I see. But
now that he's not a player, vodka goes right through you.
Oh my gosh, those are great memories.
I mean, you can't think of, I hate to say it, but you cannot think of the win that year for the Blues without thinking of that moment.
You can't. No,
Gloria,
he
and we
included
went
himself in it.
Blues. Yeah.
And of course, it's something it was a goal of his all through his career, obviously.
To do it here.
Right, to do it here and not to.
And then he cheated in Dallas and got one there.
Whatever. But still.
It still counted.
Still a classic moment for Blues fans there for sure. All right, coming up, we are going to get to in other news here in just a couple of minutes. Next hour, you won't believe what's going on. The Parkway School District took a little Freedom of Information Act, a little sunshine on their documents over there to find out just how much discrimination goes on a daily basis through these DEI programs. It's a head shaker. Our friend Nick Schroer, state senator, is going to join us about 7:22 to talk more about that. We'll be back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
70 westbound, watch for a stall. We've got at Hanley. It's taking out the right lane. Then road work on the eastbound side on the ramp to 64 eastbound. That's blocked altogether. 55, you've got southbound delays approaching Germania. Northbound side from Lindbergh to Virginia with long-term work. And then the ramp to Arsenal is blocked. 64 eastbound at 270. Road work on the ramp to northbound 270 off 64 eastbound. That is still blocked as well. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cams, I'm Trent Erickson at 646 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I just passed a coworker's desk in there a minute ago, and guess what was sitting there, Carl? It was a bottle of new vodka.
I know what desk that is.
NUE vodka, because my friends at Lore Wine and Spirits want everybody to try this great vodka they brought to town. It is fantastic. It is Texas vodka. The price point is perfect as well. A lot less than you might expect for 80 proof, gluten-free, corn-based Texas vodka. It's got a signature smooth finish that makes it approachable, more mixable than that of a lot of its competitors that are priced a lot higher. So the next time you're out and about at Schnucks or Deerberg's, wherever you find your libations, ask for it by name. That is New Vodka. It's spelled N-U-E. They're pretty proud of this, right? Because they do the multiple distillations, no continuous flow. It helps keep it from stripping out the flavor by doing it that way. And it's really good, smooth vodka for whatever you're celebrating this coming weekend. Again, Schnucks and Deerberg's carry it. Ask for it by name, New Vodka.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let's talk to Bruce Lavelle about it. He's a former executive director for National Diversity Coalition for Trump.
Look at your schools. Look at your community. You've been voting 60 years the same way.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Hi, Sean Long from STL Fenceworks. Satisfaction starts with quality materials. We are proud to install high-quality, American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products and maintenance-free decking. We've teamed up with Jareth Manufacturing, inventors of the aluminum fence industry. STL Fenceworks has also partnered with National Vinyl Products to offer the latest colors and variegated wood grain vinyl fence options, all made in the U.S. At STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion. Visit stlfenceworks.com today and let us make your backyard dreams into a reality.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Looking for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair. And hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. And now, more sweet intro music.
Go, you know the thing. What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Got some bad news. Former One Direction singer Liam Payne, he was 31, was found dead outside his hotel room in Buenos Aires, Argentina, after falling from his third-floor balcony. Local police confirmed the incident, stating they were called to the Casa Sur Hotel in Palermo after reports of an aggressive man, possibly under the influence of drug or alcohol, Payne suffered serious injuries from the fall and was pronounced dead at the scene.
They think the aggressive man threw him off the balcony. What's the story?
They don't know.
I think
I heard
he was the guy.
aggressive man.
Yeah, I think that's. Who, I think he was probably high or drunk or something.
His former girlfriend had put a cease and desist notice on him. He's 31 and she's 23.
Well, there was a
and
picture.
He was stalking her.
Well, there was a picture I thought that was
allegedly
posted minutes before he fell to his death of him with his current girlfriend or something like that in the hotel room, like a selfie, and he was shirtless. I don't know.
Somebody said he was on Snap like just before it happened.
Ethan, if he's dead, you don't have to say allegedly anymore.
Oh, well.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm not sure. I'm just covering
saying.
Carl's
I'm
butt.
just-
His
no, I'm just
family
saying,
is
yeah,
not going to sue us.
No, they're
Well,
not.
they might. You
That's
never know.
sad.
I know, right?
So
Has he
not,
identified as that or?
Identified as dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
not
Pretty sure.
not
These days you have to check.
not a big One Direction fan. I know in the boy bands they all sing. Was he like the lead singer?
No, they were all lead singers.
They were. I know.
But then
I
they
thought
separated when? A few years ago, and went
Many,
on. They all
like
did
10.
Really? Oh, I've never been a One Direction
I saw
fan.
them at the Dome.
I mean, I knew that song, that one song you
That's
played.
their
That's
biggest
probably
hit.
about it. So,
And then
sad.
Harry Styles used to be in One Direction. He's the biggest.
but
Yeah,
he went
I
in, he
definitely
went
know
in
that name.
another direction. After that,
Well,
but go ahead.
Mark, that
Go
deserved
ahead,
it, but I'm
Ethan. Yeah,
booked.
but
Does it?
all right, that's okay.
All right, I'm gonna hopefully pronounce her name right. Carl was coaching me on this, and I'm probably still gonna mess it up. Cynthia Erivo.
Yes.
She was criticized. She has criticized a fan-made alteration of the Wicked movie poster that basically obscures her face, calling it deeply hurtful. The edited poster replaced her direct gaze with an image resembling the Broadway Wicked art, where Ariana Grande's Glinda whispers to Elphaba.
Elphaba. Even Mark knows that.
Yeah.
I have not seen
I've
this.
never heard of that.
Thank
no.
you, Kim. Thank you.
Never heard that name.
You've never heard of Wicked?
I've heard of Wicked. I've never heard of that.
Elphaba?
I've never heard the
Elphaba,
name of the
no.
Wicked Witch.
Okay,
And
all right, go
Galinda.
ahead.
I go Glenda.
Nope,
Yeah.
it's Galinda.
Galinda.
She becomes Glinda in the second act.
Well, I'm gonna go with Glenda from the start.
So
Boy.
now everyone who's excited about the Wicked movie, just remember they're not publicizing this. It's Wicked Part 1.
Yeah, I knew it was a two-parter.
They're doing the first act in the first movie, the second act in the second movie, but they are not promoting that. So people are going to go, that's it?
And then what? Take 5 years to come out with the
next year.
second one.
They filmed them both
filmed
at the
them
same
together.
time. So, but next year. But it's weird that they're not saying, hey, by the way, this is in 2 parts.
Had they let you preview it?
No,
okay.
in December.
Well, it'll come out soon enough.
So the whole point of that story was that she is mad because somebody did a retouch up of the poster to make it look more like the Broadway poster, and she thinks it's hurtful because her face was obscured because that's how it looks on the.
Because it's a drawing
Yeah.
of the picture, but I understand her hiding her face.
Yeah. I think she's soft, but
I'm
that's just
sorry,
me.
but bring out the tiny violin.
Yeah, thank you.
It looks like SpaceX has filed a lawsuit against the California Coastal Commission, accusing it of political bias and blocking the company's attempt to increase rocket launches from the Vandenberg Space Force Base. The lawsuit claims the commission's opposition is based on a disagreement with SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's political view. The commission, which regulates the land and water use along the California coast, ruled that commercial space launches must comply with its permitting authority.
Oh, my goodness. Of course they're targeting for that reason. They hate the fact that he endorsed Trump. You see that rocket land the other day
It
on
was
that?
fantastic.
It was amazing.
That was cool.
Talked about it while you were gone.
Oh,
Chopsticks.
yeah, I know.
It's funny. I saw a quote from Elon Musk, and he's like, I'm sending rockets to Mars and all these things, and you guys expect me to be a normal dude? I mean, he's weird. I think everyone would agree with
I
that.
saw one of them with the camera mounted on the side of the rocket, so I've seen it from every angle. But this one, you can actually see the rocket slowly going down and the arms grabbing it. I mean, that's just mind-blowing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it was cool. Some Black Friday news for all you Taylor Swift fans. Target is partnering with Taylor Swift for exclusive releases, including the Taylor Swift The Eras Tour book and the Tortured Poets Department, the anthology album on vinyl and CD. You can get the book. It's going to be about $40. The album containing 35 tracks, priced about $18 for CD, $60 for vinyl. These exclusives will be happening on November 29th. That's when you can start getting them.
No.
She doesn't have
Another
enough money,
reason not
Mark.
to go to Target. Kim.
I know.
Another reason not to go to Target.
I'll out myself. It was like, a year and a half, 2 years, I didn't go to Target. I went back for the first time. I had to return something, and I've gone back a couple times since.
Ouch.
It's fine. I admit to it.
Yeah.
It's better than Walmart.
But honestly, here's the problem. So many of these companies are corrupt. Amazon, Walmart, Target. I mean, you name it. There's something I could find with each company. Get DEI, all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
No, Walmart's done some sketchy
Walmart's
stuff
owned by
too.
the Cronkies or the Waltons.
Not even
Walton
just
family.
that. They've done other
Right.
stuff I don't agree with.
A Royal Caribbean International passenger is suing the company and a former crew member after the employee allegedly hid cameras in her cabin bathroom.
That's nice.
The class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of the guests, identified as Jane Doe, and all other similarly situated passengers. This happened on Tuesday. The guy's name is Arvin Joseph Marisol, a former stateroom attendant. He was capturing images of guests while they undressed and engaged in private activities.
I think that's going to become a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Because now everybody who's ever been on that ship will claim they too were recorded. Think about it. Oh,
And
you don't
think
know
about,
if you were or
wouldn't it be
not
the
now.
attorneys who have to watch that footage now as part of it, right?
Yeah,
so
should.
now other people are watching it. I mean, talk about trauma.
Coming up, we're going to talk to State Senator Nick Schroer about some of the DEI policies at a major local school district.
Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 biggest newspapers, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Here's Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith asking you to vote yes on 2.
Back in my day, I was the wizard of the infield. Now, I'm a grandfather. That's why I'm voting yes on Amendment 2. It means over $100 million for Missouri schools and teachers, and no more broken promises. There's a constitutional guarantee that the money goes to our schools, and legalizing sports betting is great for us fans too. That's why the Royals, Chiefs, Blues, and Cardinals all join me in saying yes on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Does he have momentum? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump takes the lead in a new Fox News poll for the first time since Vice President Harris took over as the Democratic candidate, 50 to 48%.
Vice President Harris had a 2-point lead a month ago. By significant margins, Trump leads with men and white voters. Harris leads with women and black voters. In other key demographics, Trump leads narrowly with seniors, while Harris has a slight edge with the college-educated.
It's Fox's Gernal Scott. The vice president tells Fox if she's elected, it won't be a continuation of President Biden's policies.
I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas.
Telling Brett Baer it's time to turn the page.
If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
She called the former president divisive and dangerous. When asked about record illegal immigration,
we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
Former President Trump told a Univision town hall in Miami the Biden administration lost control of the border.
We want them to come in, but they have to come in legally. They have to love our country. They have to love you, love our people.
And he touted his record handling the economy.
4 years ago, you had no inflation.
The man arrested over the weekend outside a Trump rally in California with guns in his SUV, Whim Miller, is suing Riverside County,
accusing the sheriff of falsely characterizing his arrest as a thwarted assassination attempt. Miller says Bianco lied about the passports and created a narrative so the sheriff could look like a hero who saved Trump.
That's Fox's Jill Nato. Miller was released on bail facing misdemeanor charges. Now, also there's news this morning that the U.S. has gone on the attack in Yemen. B-2 stealth bombers dropped airstrikes targeting underground weapons stored by the Houthis, Iran-backed militants who've been attacking ships around the Red Sea for months. America's listening to Fox News.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing. Those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning. It's 43 degrees now. It's 7:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. The price tag on the newest vehicles added to the city of St. Louis's fleet are raising some questions. The city purchased 9 Ford Mustang crossover SUVs. These are electric vehicles, and each cost $46,000. A spokesperson for the mayor says the city planned to buy cheaper Chevrolet Bolts, but General Motors delayed production. Well, these cars will be used by the Health Department, Streets Department, Comptroller's Office, and Park Rangers. Workers at the Gap at the Galleria Mall are looking to unionize. Employees say they're doing this because of low pay and a lack of respect from the corporation. Channel 4 reports a vote on unionization could happen in the next 45 days. And if they vote yes, these employees at the Galleria would be the first Gap workers in the country to do so. Missouri is among 3 states across the country pushing to restrict access to the abortion pill known as mifepristone. Missouri, Kansas, and Idaho filed a suit in a federal court in Texas. It's because that's where the case was returned after the U.S. Supreme Court voted in June to keep easy access to the drug. The states want mifepristone's use to be banned after 7 weeks instead of 10 and require 3 in-person doctor visits. Right now, no doctor's visits are required to receive the pill. They also want to require the pill be given in person rather than mailed. It is 7:04 and 43 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the New York Islanders tonight at 7. The Dodgers shut out the Mets 8-0 in Game 3 of the NLCS last night. The Dodgers now lead that series 2-1. They're playing again tonight at 7:08. Well, before that game, it is the Yankees and the Guardians for Game 3 of the ALCS. First pitch for that one, 4:08. Yankees lead the series 2-0. And looking ahead to this weekend, Mizzou plays Auburn Saturday, and also happening on Saturday, 22nd ranked Illinois plays 24th ranked Michigan. 43 degrees now at 7:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Some delays if you're headed on 64 on your eastbound side. The ramp to northbound 270 is closed, so it's slow approaching. We've got 55, your northbound side from Lindbergh to Virginia, long-term road work, and then Arsenal is blocked, that ramp to Arsenal. Southbound side, slow approaching Germania, and you've got some delays on 70 if you're headed eastbound. The ramp to eastbound 64 is closed, and we've got a stall working westbound at Hanley. It's in the right lane. This report is sponsored by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Springs. They offer a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Springs is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. I'm Trent Erickson at 7:05 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high. South wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:06 and 43 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. RetirementKey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I respect that. We don't agree.
listen to both sides.
This
Let's get it on.
is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, good morning to you. Welcome in. Glad you're with us today. I'm Mark. That is Kim St. Ange, Carl Middleman. Sue Thomas has the day off. She will be back with us, I think, tomorrow. But we'll get you to work this morning. Don't you worry about that. Beautiful but chilly start to the morning. It seems like fall has arrived. No more of that fake summertime. You expecting that, Kim? 90s anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. We might, I guess, get some 80s, but I think the 90s are probably gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That Dave Murray guy, we'll have to check in with him on that. But my guess is it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Hopefully you got some plans to get out. I'm going to go to the Blues game tonight with some buddies of mine. Too. Carl Middleman, you'll be there, won't you? Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. Who are they playing?
New York Islanders.
The Islanders. All right. That ought to be a good time. Get to wear my Blues jersey and go root on the Blues tonight. And then be very tired tomorrow morning, just like Carl Middleman.
Yeah, but I won't be here, so.
And you also don't take 6-hour naps when you get home, Mark.
Oh, I took a 6-hour nap yesterday.
Did you really?
Not, and let me just clarify, it's not a nap.
No, that was
That's a full night's sleep,
full
Carl.
sleep yesterday.
I'm lucky to get 6 hours at night, and then sometimes don't nap. Often don't nap.
First time since Saturday I slept more than 3 hours at a time.
Oh, boy. Hey, we got a lot coming up for you. We're going to get to Missouri State Senator Nick Schroer in the next segment, about 7:22. We're going to talk about some DEI documents he's uncovered from the Parkway School District. And, I mean, it's head-shaking stuff that you were just wondering. If you've wondered how bad it's gotten, they've gotten a little peek behind the curtain over there, it looks to me like. We'll get to the state senator coming up here in just a couple minutes. First, so I want to get to the short list.
The Marc Cox short list.
I've been on the Rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president, and, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands, like, it's got to stop.
Yeah, it's like if you watch on the feed here for the live feed this morning on Rumble or Facebook, you'll see Carl doing this every once in a while. That's kind of what Brett Baer was getting during the end of his 12-minute interview with Kamala yesterday.
But by 4 people.
Yeah, by 4 people.
So you may not know, but you will appreciate I'm the first vice president to grow chili peppers at the vice president.
Okay.
Wow, you got to attract, I don't know, what's she going for there? Does that cross over? I think she was talking to a black audience when she joked about growing chili peppers. Somehow she thinks this is going to have mass appeal. I don't understand it.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
Yeah. Brett Baer had some good questions. Kamala Harris did not have very many good answers. She got angry, and she didn't like being talked over, but she also talked about things that made absolutely zero sense.
Now, some St. Louis families are receiving monthly $500 checks again. The city's guaranteed basic income program is halted by a lawsuit, but the city says private money is now allowing them to cut checks again.
Wow, private money, Kim. I think maybe private money will be the answer to the question, how do we pay reparations to people? Not the question, how do we determine who deserves reparations, because that's a whole different question, but where are we going to come up with the money to do it if we can't use taxpayer money?
This, by the way, this private donor is funding the program for 540 families. I'm not going to pretend to do that math, but that's a lot of money.
Well, I mean, it is, and thank goodness it's not taxpayer money, right? So it's 550 families getting $500 a month. That's $275,000, as my calculator puts it here, for to get them through the month of November. 2 months left in October, and the month of November, they would be able to resume payments for the people expecting their $500 a month.
Like, what is the city expecting out of this? Okay, for a couple, votes. Okay, but for a couple months, they're going to be able to buy some groceries that are more expensive thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's economy.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
well,
you're not giving them any life lessons. You're lifting them up, but only temporarily. I use the analogy of you're giving them a fish. You're not teaching them how to fish.
Call it what it is, right? If you want to claim you're trying to help people because they're struggling right now, just say you're helping them because they're struggling to pay their bills because of Bidenflation. Of course, Mayor Tashar Jones is never going to say that because it would be a glimpse of the truth about what's gone on the last 3.5 years in this country. This has nothing to do with COVID. It was simply directly income-based that people could qualify for this. Had nothing to do with how their family was affected during COVID. Nothing. And they're trying to use federal taxpayer dollars to pay off constituents that she knows will cast a vote for her the next time she runs for office. Plain and simple. A judge found that it was illegal to use taxpayer dollars for it. Now they're trying to do an end run and use private money. If you can find somebody with so much money that they're stupid enough to fund something like this, God bless you. God bless you. We know Jack Dorsey did it once. He's got more money than he knows what to do with. He can only spend so much on pot. So here you have it.
So you mentioned the reparations, right? Because they're trying to get money for that. The Reparations Commission here in the city just made its final recommendations on all these payments it wants to make. So let's just say a private donor comes through and gives all this money to that fund. Okay, so you dish out, and they want to spend $25,000, by the way, per family, I believe, or per person. I don't even know.
How many would there be?
It's an insane amount, okay? So does that then, they're thinking that's supposed to like make up for all the injustice, right, for slavery. So does that mean once they get paid that money, it's equal, like level playing, you can't complain anymore about what happened in the past because that's supposed to erase all of it?
The only way, I mean, first of all, I'm not in favor of reparations. The only possible common sense way that any of that would ever make sense, and this is nothing that the recipients of it would ever agree to, is to say, okay, a private donor's giving us this money. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to set up an individual retirement account for each of you. This money will be deposited into that individual retirement account. You cannot access it until you're 65 years old, and then you can use it to live on in retirement. Because if you give it to them now, it's going to be gone in 6 months, maybe sooner than that. And nobody will be happier than the used car dealers up here north in throughout the city and the county. They would be the happiest because people would rush out and buy new cars or do this or do that, and the money will be gone.
And then they're going to expect
to
more.
Improve people's lives. Nothing. Yeah, the one-time payment thing will soon become monthly payments or yearly payments or a living wage. I mean, it's just there's just no end to it, and that's why I was mystified yesterday when I saw how they twisted in pretzels to try to resume guaranteed basic income programs. right? These are just tests. It's a test. And then once they get people hooked on it, they're going to say, well, now they're dependent on it. We have to keep giving them $500 a month, $5,500 a year, whatever that comes out to. Well, next year we need to increase the income level of people who qualify for it. I mean, these things never get smaller. No government program in the history of mankind has ever gotten smaller the next year. This doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And that's why there's always one truism that you can always get back to, Carl, every single time.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
Amen, Mr. Swanson. All right, quick break, and we'll get to Mr. Schroer, Mr. State Senator Nick Schroer, with more on what these DEI programs are really doing in our local schools. We'll be right back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
55 northbound, pretty jammed up from Lindbergh to Virginia. This is long-term work to blame for this one. And then the ramp to Arsenal is blocked. Southbound side around Germania, you have a slowdown. You've got 270 northbound, heavy from 55 to Tesson Ferry with a crash, taking out a right lane. And then you're slow approaching Manchester. Southbound remains in good shape. And then we've got 70 westbound stall, taking out a right lane right around Hanley to watch for. That's slowing things a bit. And 64 eastbound, the ramp to 270 northbound is blocked with road work. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cams, I'm Trent Erickson on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, let's talk about Rhino Shield, what it can do for your house, what it can do for your budget, right? Because how about being able to extend the money, right? You have to spend money to paint your house, to fix it up, whatever. You spend money once, and then you don't have to worry about it for 25 years. How many home improvement projects can you think of that you can get taken care of and then not worry about it for 25 years? I'll bet there aren't many. I mean, beyond the basic structure of your house, over that period of time, you're probably replacing furnaces and roofs and all that stuff, and you're going to replace them more than once, but not with Rhino Shield. It's been lab tested. They give you a 25-year transferable warranty for homeowners. They have commercial applications that can help you with the maintenance costs on your building. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. Maybe they just haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to my friend Darren yet. Let him come over. The evaluations on this are always free. 877-25-RHINO is the phone number, or go online and check it out. I'm a proud customer. You're going to love this product. Go to 877-25rhino.com.
News that's on time. On your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games too, and that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much. But the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
This hour of the Marc Cox Morning Show is sponsored by Pro Outdoor. They just about do it all for your lawn and landscape maintenance needs. Call the pros at Pro Outdoor, ProOutdoor.com. The gloves are off. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show. Find everything Marc Cox at 971talk.com/Cox.
Well, what is one truism we've learned about DEI, Kim? It stands for didn't earn it, generally speaking. That's one thing we know about DEI. We also stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I get so tired of hearing those terms because most people don't think that through. It's feel-good language that the left has come up with. But you know, on to the end of the day, you don't want diversity in the surgery room. You want the highest trained doctor you can get. That you do. You don't want equal outcomes. You want the equal opportunity to achieve those outcomes.
No, Mark, speak for yourself. I care about their skin color.
It's silly, but it's the world we live in, and it's the truth in our school districts right now. We've got State Senator Nick Schroer on the phone this morning, and he's uncovered some stuff that is eye-popping. Nick, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for covering this. It's very important.
Well, yeah, I mean, so tell me how this got started. What you've gotten here is some sunshine law requests to the Parkway School District. What prompted this?
So it kind of always it goes back to I'd say my first year in the Senate, which was last year, and before the Freedom Caucus was created, we kept trying to stop this by way of the budget. We had members like Denny Hoskins, myself, Senator Eigel, trying to offer different bills to prohibit the use of our tax dollars in our public education institutions, our local schools, our government schools, and we had Republicans standing in the way saying, no, that stuff's not happening here. Well, then we tried it again this year after the Freedom Caucus was created. Still, same thing happened. And then a whole bunch of whistleblowers kept coming out saying, no, actually, it is happening. And here's some emails. Here's some discussions that we're getting from the principals on down. And one in particular, there was a whistleblower from Parkway that came in and was telling us how divisive the school is and how they're excluding certain races, certain ethnicities, and they're utilizing tax dollars to create these divisive and insane programs that are excluding certain members, certain kids. And we sent out a sunshine request, and they drug their feet. We threw the hammer down and uncovered some documents.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I just imagine for a moment a school district creating a safe space where only white people were allowed in. I mean, isn't that basically what you found, the opposite of that, right?
Yeah, and guess what? That happened. That happened back during Jim Crow. And guess who was responsible back then? The Democrats. And they're doing it again. And we said as a society, never again are we going to allow our tax dollars in supervising our kids to inject this insane rhetoric and segregating us. And it's happening in our public schools here in the city or in St. Louis County.
What was that example you found? I mean, you sent me a copy of one of these emails that you uncovered that's basically encouraging people to come to a DEI study lounge, correct?
Yeah, it's a study lounge that's excluding basically everyone except for white kids. Or the opposite. It says that if you're black, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, Pacific Islander, you can come to this study lounge, and it's basically saying if you're not white, you can come. But if you're white, no whites need apply. No Irish need apply. Look, looking back at history, this has happened before. And if we don't stand up and say, look, you can do it if you want to have a private school that's DEI. No one's going to go to it. It's going to be a failure, but not in our government schools, not by way of our tax dollars. Are we going to be supporting racism once again? And that's exactly what it is.
I know you told Andrew Bailey about this, so I take it he'll be investigating. But to your knowledge, is this still a thing there in the Parkway School District where they're offering this study lounge?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they initially said, no, this isn't happening. We don't have any proof of this. We had to tweak our sunshine request, and that's what we're going to be doing in most of these school districts. That's kind of why we brought in Andrew Bailey, to see if we can cast a wider net to make sure that we're utilizing the right language. And I know DESE, the Department of Education, Secondary Education, or Elementary and Secondary Education, they did a similar request a couple years ago on critical race theory. Well, because of their wording, because they didn't know how to ask it, they came back with only 1 or 2 schools saying, yeah, we're utilizing critical race theory in our schools. Look, this stuff is happening. We've had many different whistleblowers coming forward, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, not only in Parkway, but in our public education system around the state.
Yeah, to answer Kim's question, the email you sent me is dated September 3rd, 2024. Yeah. So this was a month ago that this email was sent out about a DEI safe space that also promises that if you show up here because you need a safe space to study, we'll also provide transportation to get you home after school.
If you live in the city.
Yeah, if you live in the city, we'll arrange for transportation for you. I mean, come on. So, Nick, what I guess at the end of the day, we know this is happening. Why can't the legislature tell the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, no, you're not allowed to do things like this. It's discriminatory. Are they hiding behind federal law? What are they doing here?
I don't know what the problem is. And I think that the biggest issue is that we've got a lot of legislators that can't think for themselves, a lot of legislators that don't have a spine. And last night I reached out after we uncovered this, and we're still going through the hordes of documents that were given to us. But I reached out to Cindy O'Laughlin, and she's going to be the one responsible for basically leading the Senate next year. She just had dinner with a former senator who's now the new head of DESE, and she's promised. She goes, look, if they don't fix this stuff, we're going to be fixing it next year. So we're going to hold her feet to the fire and make sure that the Education Committee next year, whoever's on it, whoever's going to lead it, is going to spearhead these efforts. And if not, we're going to have another fight on the floor come budget time.
I hope so, my friend, because that doesn't inspire confidence in me. The names O'Laughlin and Rowden got exactly 0 accomplished last year.
Yeah, and that's where the Freedom Caucus is going to continue growing. We're going to add numbers. We've got people like Brad Hudson, Adam Schnelting coming in, and it's going to be a very eventful session next year because we've got the illegal immigration issue we're dealing with. We've got this stuff in our public schools, and we're being lied to. We're being gaslit time and time again by the lobbyists and by the superintendent. So the time for holding hands and singing Kumbaya is over, my friends.
Yep, I think good to hear, too. Nick, thanks for working on this and letting us know about it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for covering it. Y'all have a great week.
You bet. State Senator Nick Schroer. Wow, that's eye-opening. If you live in Parkway, you got some questions you need to ask, I think, at the next school board meeting. Coming up, we'll talk to David Stokes. He's with Show Me Institute. We're going to talk more about the minimum wage proposition that's on the ballot for you in about 2.5 weeks. We'll be right back.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
All right, it's something you hear me talk about here quite often, but I've been involved in it, and that is the search for senior living for loved ones who are in need of it, right? What are your standards? Well, you want somewhere where your loved one is going to be safe and comfortable. When you walk in the door at Hampton Manor, Wentzville, boy, you get that feeling immediately. It's a beautiful facility, number one. It's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous building. The physical building is beautiful. It's not even quite a year old. They had their grand opening in December of last year. It's a single story. I think that's important. No elevators, no stairs, big spacious rooms, a staff that is accommodating and pays attention because that's what the owner insists on. And he's going to be opening up a couple more Hampton Manors soon. We're going to be talking to you about those. This location is right there at the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. So be sure you go there and check it out. When you go through and see the movie theater and the spa and all that stuff, they'll feed you lunch. It's WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high, south wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, now at 7:30. The city of St. Louis is resuming payments for low-income families, now with help from a private donor. Last year, the city allocated millions from the American Rescue Plan to provide $500 a month to families for 18 months. Well, that was halted after a lawsuit was filed accusing the city of violating the state constitution by using public funds. This private donor is now funding the program for 540 families. Some people passing through Chesterfield not thrilled with the state's latest effort to get drivers to slow down. The Missouri Department of Transportation has added curb bump-out islands that extend out from the shoulder. These are part of MoDOT's regional safety projects that will include adding more guardrails, signage, and changes to traffic signals in St. Louis County. In sports, Blues are at home taking on the New York Islanders tonight at 7. Dodgers shut out the Mets 8-0 in Game 3 of the NLCS last night. They're playing again tonight at 7:08. And just before that game, it is the Yankees and the Guardians for Game 3 of the ALCS at 4:08. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, things are hanging in there. If you're on 70 or 170, there's some road work here and there. We've got 270 northbound slow spots from 55 up to Manchester. We've got a crash clearing just past 55 around Tesson Ferry. That is getting out of the right lane as we speak. Your northbound side of 55, Lindbergh to 50 to Virginia. You're slow going with road work, pretty heavy through that work zone. You've got an Arsenal exit ramp blocked as well. Southbound side slow approaching Germania at 64. Westbound, you're slow going from about 170 over to Big Bend, and westbound side takes you from Big Bend over to about 170. I'm Trent Erickson at 7:32 on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, you've heard me brag before about my friends with at Old Dominic. I got to go down and go through their distillery a couple months ago, and it was fantastic. If you're ever in Memphis, look them up. You're going to love this place. This is a family-run distillery, and the stuff they're putting out down there, they mash it, they distill it, they age it, and they bottle it right there in one place. All of their whiskeys and spirits are done right there. I just had some of their cask strength bourbon the other day. Outstanding, big taste. I mean, it's cask strength, but it's really good. The flavor's outstanding. Their straight bourbon at 90 proof is great. They've got that Huling station. The bottle is just beautiful. And the bonded Tennessee whiskey. Had some over this past weekend, liquid gold. Barrel-aged at least 4 years, bottled at 100 proof, which makes it bonded. And it will change what you think about Tennessee whiskey. If you think you know Tennessee whiskey, you don't know Jack. You need to try Old Dominic Tennessee whiskey. Be sure and go out and ask for it by name at all of your local favorite establishments. I know they got it at the Wine and Cheese Place and Randall's and Friar Tuck. Thanks to our friends at Lower Wine and Spirits for getting it here. And ask for it by name. It's Old Dominic. Marc Cox here. I have put together my 2024 general election voter's guide with you in mind. The direction of our nation and our state is in your hands now. Visit 971talk.com to see the Marc Cox 2024 voter guide.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
The helm is in good hands. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I work a 40-hour week and I earn my keep, and I try to walk proud and tall. I keep my nose to the grind, but don't get behind, and I don't back up at all. Well, my neck's a little red, my collar's blue. I sip a little
All right,
coffee
welcome
and a
back.
bag
You
of
know, there's
booze.
so many things are on the ballot this year. We've talked about a lot of them here, and you need to understand that one of the big ones that's coming up is Proposition A. That is this effort to force through a $15 minimum wage, but it's actually worse than it sounds. Because not only would it falsely inflate the wage floor, it would just keep going up. And that's kind of the way this thing is worded. We got David Stokes on the phone right now, Director of Municipal Policy over at Show Me. David, welcome back. How are you?
Mark, I'm doing great. Great to be in the air with you and everyone.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you. You know, this minimum wage thing, I've got it on my voter guide here. Of course, I'm a no on it. But, you know, this is the reason why when you go to McDonald's or you go to a coffee shop, you got machines making your food these days because people are pricing themselves out of the job market with these wages.
Absolutely. And I don't know anybody who likes that whole kiosk system at McDonald's. You got to go to McDonald's to order your own food, and it takes forever. But right, it's sort of this circle we're in where we're raising these minimum wage. We're not allowing the market to raise the minimum wage. That's fine when that happens. That's wonderful when wages go up for workers naturally. But when you artificially do it, and then businesses respond as so predictably to start automation or cutting workers' hours or laying workers off, many of the things that they do, you get exactly what you just described. You go to McDonald's and you got to interact with a machine, and it's not an enjoyable experience. So then people are going to start eating out less and eating at home more, which is going to result in even fewer jobs in that industry. It's that circle we talk about.
I couldn't agree more, and we've watched what's happened in other states when something like this passed. What do you think the likelihood is that it's passed here?
Well, it's passed previously in Missouri when it's gone to the voters. So past is no guarantee of the future. Of course, it's like a financial advisor commercial. But but right, it's passed in the past, and that's why my colleague at Show Me Institute, Elias Sapellis, just released a new paper on this question, on Proposition A, the minimum wage in Missouri. and it really talks in a lot of detail about how the evidence is strong that minimum wage increases don't help the people they're intended to help. They do help some low-wage workers, but they don't help minimum wage families. And what's the difference? Well, there's plenty of low-wage workers who are just teenagers from middle-class or upper-middle-class families working part-time. So, sure, some of them get a raise with it, but then you cut the hours, you cut the employment opportunities for the lower-skilled workers who need these jobs the most. So you hurt the people you're ostensibly claiming to help if you assume goodwill on the back of these proponents. I don't always do that, but I will in this case. So that's what Elias talks about in depth, about all the studies that show all these things. And I really hope people check out this paper at showmeinstitute.org.
Yeah, David Stokes with us from the Show Me Institute, showmeinstitute.org, the website there. You can go and read up more on that. I beg people to educate themselves on these issues. It's just so important. The other thing that's kind of hidden in here that people don't understand is if they pass this, they don't ever have to pass another one because it's got a cost of a consumer price index that begins in 2027 that would automatically adjust it up after that, correct? I mean, it's never going to go back down. It's only going to go up.
That's true, and that's in there as well as an aspect of it that now requires businesses. It exempts government and a few others, but businesses will now be required by law to set an amount of for every 30 hours worked, somebody gets 1 hour of paid leave. And the idea that the government should be interfering and mandating these types of policies is why we do need some type of initiative petition reform. I mean, it's crazy that people can just interfere in business and government through the petition process like this. And that's another aspect of it. And that's just they're going to probably come back in 5 years and make that an even larger deal if this passes and require more time off. There's nothing wrong with paid time off, but it's something that businesses and their workers should negotiate with themselves. And in the tight labor market that we're in, trust me, workers have plenty of power. Not only will this be harmful, this whole minimum wage increase and the like, but it's so unnecessary right now as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm trying to think back, and I know I'm the oldest one in the room here, but I think my first job, which was at an amusement park where it was seasonal, so they didn't have to stick to whatever the minimum wage was at the time, which I think was $2.25 or $2.50 or something. I think I made $1.80 or something seasonal wage at an amusement park when I was 14 or 15 years old back in Ohio. And, I didn't plan to do that for my whole life. I was doing it for some extra spending money. It was never designed to support a family of four on minimum wage. The point is, if you go and improve your skill set, you can demand more money. That was the point of this all along, right?
Absolutely. I mean, what you just described is so perfect in that it's giving young people an opportunity to get some work experience, to increase their skill set. And let's say you were working full-time at that. I know it was seasonal, but let's say it was full-time. If you showed up regularly and did a good job, there's no way you'd stay at minimum wage for a long time. Like, people who work minimum wage jobs and do it regularly and do it well, they get promoted quickly. They get pay raises quickly because the companies that have them want to keep them. So when you deny them these opportunities in the first place by passing these wages, which lead to these wage increases, which lead to more automation, as we started off the show with, you're denying people who need these opportunities the most. You're limiting these opportunities for them. And that's really why this is so harmful. And again, it comes back to, will some low-income workers benefit? Sure. But a lot of those people are going to be teenagers of upper-middle-class families.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, you're hurting the people who need these lower-wage opportunities the most and who can use that to build greater opportunities in the future.
Well, I hope people download the voter guide. They can look at mine. They can go read the paper at showmeinstitute.org and find out more about Proposition A. There are also a bunch of amendments on there, including Prop 3 and Amendment 3 and all that stuff, which we're obviously a no on as well. But people can read those on my voter guide. Well, I've got you on here, David. I did want to bring this up. I got this thing in the mail the other day from Missouri American Water. talking about some public hearings that are coming up. And the reason it caught my attention is there's going to be one here in the St. Louis area over at UMSL, it looks like, coming up on November 12th, where they're going to be going to the state and asking for a 35% hike in the fees they're charging you for your water. And my guess is most people get these things and throw them in the garbage.
They probably do. You're certainly right about that. So I don't know exactly what Missouri American is asking for in that, and no doubt that may seem high to the average person. But our private utilities in Missouri are very heavily regulated, and they're monopolies, so they should be. I'd like to see in a few opportunities for more consumer choice were available, but that doesn't apply across the board. So as regulated businesses, as regulated monopolies, they need to be carefully regulated by the State Public Service Commission. So you have this costly and detailed process where when they can't just raise prices on their consumers. They have to go through, again, a long-term process here. And the State Public Service Commission will judge whether these requests are worthy or not, or if there's some compromise, maybe in the middle. And I think that happens frequently. But as much as that sounds high, trust me when I say that the alternative is also bad. We saw the alternative for years with the City Water Division, which is a publicly owned utility owned by the City of St. Louis, where for political purposes, they didn't want to raise rates because in those cases, your customers are also your voters.
That's
so you
right.
ultimately have to decide. So then you underinvest in the system and you really harm your system. And we saw that with the City Water Division. And that doesn't mean that these increases by the utilities, the private utilities, are always good. But that is the role of the State Public Service Commission to help make that decision. And I don't want to automatically say that price increase by Missouri American is too much. I don't know. I do trust that the Public Service Commission process will work itself out. And it is a good process, as complex as it may be. And yes, most people have no desire to get involved in it and show up to these meetings, which is unfortunate because you as a customer have every right to do so.
It's a good point. David Stokes, always great having you on. ShowMe.org, ShowMeInstitute.org. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Mark, always great talking with you. Thanks for having me on this morning, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll talk again soon. By the way, here you go. For the average Missouri American water customer, if you use an average of 5,400 gallons of water a month, your bill would increase by $18. And the change to wastewater customers for them, some customers could see up to a $27 increase in their bill, a 34% overall water and wastewater increase. So if you want to go to one of these Missouri Public Service Commission meetings, just so you know, there are a couple online, a couple of virtual hearings that are going to happen, one coming up in November 6th, the day after Election Day, and then the one that's going to be over at UMSL, which is the other closest one to us, is November 12th at 6 p.m. over at the Student Center there at UMSL. I don't even know if people show up to these. But somebody needs to ask, why do you need a 34% increase in my water bill? This is the only place you have to contest that, is at that meeting. All right, coming up, Kim, what are we whimming about today?
I don't know about all you, but I've been seeing a lot of those political yard signs. And maybe you've driven by and wondered, are those really effective? Could they change someone's mind? Well, I found an interesting study that answers that question.
Good. We'll get to that coming up.
'Cause I'm an all-American country boy.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
70 eastbound, slow spots from 141 to 170 with a crash just past 141 in the right lane. 170 southbound, Forest Park Parkway down to 64, tight to 270 southbound. This is from Page to 64. Northbound side fills in from 54 to Manchester with a crash at Manchester in the left lane. 55 northbound, Rebus Barracks to River City Boulevard, heavy with a crash in the right lane. Southbound side, slow approaching Germania. Your eastbound side is 64 Chesterfield. In that area, all the way to 170, you have slow spots. And the westbound side spots from Kings Highway to Big Bend. Lindbergh to 270 from Cordell and Cordell Traffic Cams. I'm Trent Erickson at 7:49 on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, now is the time to act. If you need a new air conditioner or furnace or service on the one you've got, maybe a new boiler or hot water heater, Air Comfort Service Heating, Air Conditioning, and Cooling can take care of that for you. They have absolutely got a great deal for you right now. Up through November 23rd, Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $2,100. This is for the highest efficiency units. It may be a little less than that depending on what you buy, but still, that's cash back in your pocket or off the bottom line. You can qualify for 0% financing for up to 72 months. You can get utility rebates in the hundreds of dollars and tax credits. You can check all this out online at aircomfortservice.com. When you call them, tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it and bragging about my new high-efficiency furnace and air conditioner I just got installed from Air Comfort. Couldn't be happier with it. Keeps us nice and warm and nice and cool, and plus I got those tax credits and the rebates. Take advantage of this while you can. Ask them about Carrier Cool Cash. Go online today to aircomfortservice.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let's talk to Bruce Lavelle about it. He's a former executive director for National Diversity Coalition for Trump.
Look at your schools. Look at your community. You've been voting 60 years the same way.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Do you have $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 in debt? Then listen to this. You may not be required to pay it all back.
I was drowning in debt.
I had over $36,000 in debt.
If I would have just made the minimum payments, it would have taken me 59 years to pay off.
Whether it's credit card, medical, or personal loan debt, National Debt Relief can help significantly reduce what you owe. In fact, debt relief payments can be 50% less than your monthly credit card payments. That's right, half as much as you're paying now.
National Debt Relief reduced my debt by over $27,000.
With National Debt Relief, you have a powerful team that knows how to talk to your creditors.
National Debt Relief, they got me out of debt.
More than 550,000 Americans have used National Debt Relief to reduce their debt. Call 800-649-6464 to see if you qualify to settle your debt for a fraction of what you owe. 800-649-6464. That's 800-649-6464.
If you're thinking of getting new hardwood, carpet, laminate, or vinyl flooring at one of those big box or discount stores, put it on hold. As in Reinhold. Reinhold Flooring, covering St. Louis and beyond since 1988. Residential or builder, you'll find everything you need in our showroom on Telegraph. When it comes to investing in your home, you want the best in carpet, laminate, vinyl flooring, or area rugs. Put those others on hold with Reinhold Flooring. Stop by Telegraph Road or learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Missouri Brush Control. If you have acreage and have always dreamed of having trails for walking, hiking, biking, horseback, or ATV riding, but that property is so overgrown it seems impossible, Missouri Brush Control can transform your acreage, leaving behind beautiful mulch trails just like you've seen in state parks, and they can do it in hours with their specialized forestry machines. Learn more about this eco-friendly land clearing method at MissouriBrushControl.com and enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
He's right. Marc Cox. Kim on a Whim.
Kim on a Whim is proudly brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Learn more at MissouriBrushControl.com.
If you have a political yard sign at home, or maybe your neighbor does, or you just pass them on your way, doing whatever you do during the day, have you ever wondered how effective are those? Is someone going to change their mind?
I have, because my neighborhood doesn't allow them. It's in
Oh,
the
really?
covenants. Yeah.
That's so odd.
So I just put one in my window.
And how's that going over?
And I'm
any
flying a Trump flag.
Have you had any complaints?
Maybe, but I don't care. There's nothing they can do about it.
That's such a Marc Cox answer,
I'm
and I
sorry.
love it.
I'm sorry. Number one, it's stupid that you can't have a yard sign.
Agreed.
To begin with. But I didn't write the covenants, and the subdivision's been there for 20 years, so there's nothing you can do about it. But still, I do think they're effective because it should make people think when they see a yard sign. Whether they agree or disagree with the issue, you need to educate yourself on it, right?
I agree. There was a 2015 study. It was some political science professor at Columbia University that found that they can make a slight difference. He estimated somewhere between 1 and 2 percentage points on average. So is this going to be the comeback kid who's going to come up from behind because of your signs? No, but in a tight race, this could make the difference. And a lot of it, as you might imagine, is name recognition. In fact, they did what's called the Ben Griffin experiment, where what they did is this professor at Vanderbilt in 2011, she created yard signs for a fake county council candidate named Ben Griffin, put them all over the area, including a traffic street near a school. Survey mailed out a few days later by the school's parent-teacher association, asking people to list their top choices for the county's at-large council seats. Well, what happened was there were 5 real candidates who were listed along with that fake Ben Griffin candidate. Nearly a quarter of the people who responded listed the fake Ben Griffin candidate among their top 3 picks. Name
We're
recognition.
so
People apparently aren't even taking the time to Google the person and see, what they stand for. They just, I recognize that name. They must be trustworthy. They must somehow they think they are in agreement with their stance on issues.
Excuse me, but these are the same idiots, for lack of a better term, because it is about the most descriptive term I can think of, who vote for the first name on the ballot.
Yep.
Like, statistics show, if your name is the first one on the ballot, if you win the lottery and your name is the first one on the ballot, you get maybe an 8 to 10 point bump from having your name on the ballot there.
Mm-hmm.
First.
I remember
because some people just check that one and just move on.
Remember Valentina Gomez was running for, I believe, Secretary of State.
Yes.
And she was really excited that her name was going to be first. Now, obviously, she didn't even come close to winning that.
In a close race,
but she may have
that can make a difference.
She may have gotten more votes than she otherwise would have. They also say that the simpler the message, the better. So just having the name and what office they're running for versus some of these signs try to list the different things that they stand for. And while that's great, if you're driving by quickly, you don't have time to read that.
Yes,
and
correct.
sometimes I'm actually frustrated that I wasn't able to read it. I'm almost irritated at the sign for making it too small or whatever the case may be, that it didn't give me time to actually take a look at what it says.
Well, I mean, I noticed the no on 3 signs up and down 44 as I drove to Arkansas last
It's in my
weekend.
yard too. Put your sign out. Go get one.
I hope it makes some sort of impact on all those people. Hopefully there's some out on I-72. I don't know. Coming up, Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday, with her take on the Brett Baer Kamala Harris interview. We'll be back.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A not-so-rave review. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. From Trump running mate J.D. Vance to Vice President Harris's interview on Fox.
25 minutes of a person who couldn't answer a direct question. How many illegal immigrants have come in? She didn't answer that question.
Vance just told Fox.
What is it in the mind of this person that can't just acknowledge that she has been in power for 3.5 years and bears some responsibility as the sitting vice president for the condition that the country is in?
Now, he reacted specifically to Brett Baer asking Harris this.
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
From the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
The vice president also said,
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy.
Former President Trump had a town hall on Univision saying the Biden administration lost control of the border and the economy.
What they've done to this country is incredible in so many different ways.
A Fox News poll gives the former president a 2-point lead. A month ago, Vice President Harris led Trump by 2. President Biden has just taken off for Germany.
Aside from the U.S., Germany has been Ukraine's biggest partner in terms of helping them defend themselves against Russian aggression. So much of the focus here will be setting Ukraine on a course to continue to defend itself, with the future of the U.S. role in that a little bit unclear with the election on the horizon.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich in Berlin. The U.S. went on the attack in Yemen with airstrikes targeting weapons stored by the Houthis, Iran-backed militants who've been attacking ships in the Red Sea region. Americans shopped more last month. Retail sales in the U.S. rose 0.4% from August, more than expected. America's listening to Fox News.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
43 degrees now at 8:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. The price tag on the newest vehicles added to the city of St. Louis's fleet are raising some questions. The city purchased 9 Ford Mustang crossover SUVs. Those are electric vehicles, and each cost $46,000. Those cars will be used by the Health Department, Streets Department, Comptroller's Office, and Park Rangers. Workers at the Gap at the Galleria Mall are looking to unionize. Employees say they're doing this because of low pay and a lack of respect from the corporation. Channel 4 reports a vote on unionization could happen in the next 45 days, and if they vote yes, these employees at the Galleria would be the first Gap workers to do so. Missouri is among 3 states across the country pushing to restrict access to the abortion pill known as mifepristone. Missouri, Kansas, and Idaho filed a suit in a federal court in Texas. That's where the case was returned after the U.S. Supreme Court voted in June to keep easy access of that drug. The states want mifepristone's use to be banned after 7 weeks instead of 10, and also require 3 in-person doctor visits. Right now, no doctor visits are even required to receive this pill. They also want to require the drug be given in person rather than mailed. It is 8:04 and 43 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the New York Islanders tonight at 7. The Dodgers shut out the Mets 8-0 in Game 3 of the NLCS last night. The Dodgers now lead that series 2-1. They're playing again tonight at 7:08. Well, before that game, it is the Yankees and the Guardians for Game 3 of the ALCS. First pitch is 4:08. Yankees lead that series 2-0. And looking ahead to this weekend, Mizzou plays Auburn on Saturday. Also happening Saturday, 22nd ranked Illinois plays 24th ranked Michigan. 43 degrees now at 8:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Some slowdowns on 70 if you're headed eastbound. Slow spots from First Capitol over to St. Charles Rock Road, then passing Lucas Hunt. 170 southbound from Page down to 64. Northbound seems to be okay. 270 northbound is not between 55 and Manchester. We had an earlier crash just past 55 clearing. And southbound side from Page down to 64 is slow. 55 northbound. Rebus Barracks to River City Boulevard is heavy with the crash working. They're just clearing that out of the right lane. Then you're slow approaching Germania on the southbound side. 64 eastbound from Chesterfield to 170 slow spots, and westbound from Kings Highway to Big Bend and Limburg to 270. I'm Trent Erickson at 8:05 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high, south wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We're at 43 degrees now at 8:06. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
All right, welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. Happy that you're with us on this Thursday morning. It's the 17th day of October, and boy, it's a little chilly out there today. Saw people wearing their coats as they're heading out the door. A little frost when I was coming in. So some people got the frost this morning, which marks, as somebody pointed out yesterday, the end to the growing season. Like if we got frost, the grass should stop growing. So when I mow it this weekend, it'll be the last time I have to mow it.
We haven't had to mow for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. It's been pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I'll bet. I haven't mowed in a week, but I need to mow it one more time before I call it a season.
Well, that's something to celebrate, though, right? Well, see, you have the built-in irrigation system. That's something my husband really, really, really wants because, and I do feel bad for him, but he's out there, because we had our lawn aerated and seeded and all the things. So you have to be very diligent about going out and, watering your entire lawn every day after that. So he's out there dragging the hose around the yard with his little timer going off every 20 minutes.
Hey,
I do feel bad for
Call
him.
Pro Irrigation,
I should.
proirrigation.com. They
Can we get a free
say,
irrigation system?
I should say prooutdoor.com because they changed the name of it. So prooutdoor.com can take care of that for you, and they can winterize it, and they're going to come and do that for me next week. I should say. Get your appointment scheduled. Coming up, Shannon Bream is going to join us from Fox News Sunday. I wonder, I'm sure Shannon is happy with how the Brett Baer interview went, but, I mean, the way that the Democrats have handled this, like they got her there late, they wanted her whisked out of there before the thing could really get rolling. I think it's because they realized it wasn't going as they had hoped. And we're going to talk to Shannon about all that for you coming up here in just a few minutes. Our friend Griff Jenkins before the hour is out, and a great event that is coming up that you can probably still get tickets to, and I'll tell you about that before the hour is out. Stay tuned for that. First, though, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
I should note, we did not find a single person who audibly would tell us that they voted for Kamala Harris. These were Trump supporters getting out to vote early in the all-important Mojave County.
There you have it. These folks are talking about Arizona early voting, which is already underway. That was MSNBC, and they were shocked to not find a single Kamala voter when they went to the polls.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
Wow. That's why do 50% of the people support the guy you claim is so bad, Ms. Vice President? Well, Donald Trump. That was the only answer she gave pretty much through the entire interview.
And I'm a bit disappointed that what I saw, and this is not to disparage Brett Baer, he was a little bit dismissive.
Oh, he was dismissive. She brought up all of these serious concerns about the mental health of Donald Trump, and Brett Baer didn't agree with her on any of it. So he dismissed her concerns. How dare he do that? Wow.
I never thought it would be this difficult. I really didn't. I was naive. I was stupid. I don't know what I was. I even told my mom, give me a couple of months and I'll rid Columbia of its anti-Semitism.
Wow. That is a guy who's a professor still at Columbia University. Shai Davidai is his name. But guess what? He's suspended. All of these protests, these anti-Semitic protests on campuses across the country, including Columbia, and the guy that gets suspended is the Jewish guy who they claim was intimidating other employees. Wow, he's an Israeli citizen. He's been among the most prominent and outspoken of the campus critics of these pro-Hamas protests all over the place up there. We know Jewish kids are afraid to walk across campuses because they might encounter one of these crazed groups who harass them or threaten them physically. And this professor speaks out on their behalf. He's the one that got banned from campus yesterday.
I would like to know what he was allegedly saying that they viewed as threatening, because to your point, Mark, I mean, how many students were threatening those Jewish students on campus and nothing happened? To my knowledge, there were really no consequences other than finally, after days and days of what I would call violent protests, you might say rioting at one point, they finally shut it down.
Yeah. Well, they argue that something he did on the 1-year anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel is what led to this problem, that they've not limited him up until now, but that he threatened, intimidated, and harassed somebody as a result of what he saw. He's probably, imagine an Israeli citizen, probably so outraged by the stupidity of these people who were on his campus, he couldn't take it anymore. And I mean, you can't really blame him for that. This is why he claims he's in trouble. He spoke out yesterday on social media. I think maybe it was Instagram. Listen.
Sometimes when I make my posts, I curse. You probably know this. It's not for shock value. It's not for anything other than expressing my emotions. And today when I was interviewed by one of the many journalists I talked with, I was asked about that. And I realized something. I realized that for some reason, American society is more offended by me using a curse word than by professors openly supporting Hamas and Hezbollah. They're more offended by me challenging an administrator than by students holding signs glorifying October 7th massacre.
Yeah. I think he's absolutely probably gotten somebody's face, cussed him out, and they've now decided he was intimidating people. Unlike those pro-Hamas protesters, really, who were allowed to do and say what they want. I mean, I'm a free speech guy. I think the First Amendment kicks in when you get offended by something. It's that it protects the person that has offended you with their sticks and with their words and not sticks and stones.
You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of all the people being so offended by everything. And I'm not going to pretend like I never would. I've never felt that. Of course I have, especially with some of the things that people say to me. But I'm really working on that, and I think I've gotten better at it. And one of the books that's on my list of books I'd like to read is by Brant Hansen. It's called Unoffendable, How Just One Change Can Make All of Life Better. It's on Amazon. I'm looking at it right now for like $10. I mean, would that not be such a game changer in our society if people weren't so offended by every little thing? I mean, I understand certain things that people say are very hurtful, but my gosh, it's a bunch of pansies in society now. And you say one little thing and they're up in arms. Like even these people who accidentally misgender somebody, complete accident, they are like, how dare you? The audacity you have. It was a mistake. Well, first of all, I wouldn't agree to call somebody by their preferred pronouns. It's your biological gender I'm going to go by. But I'm so tired of it. And I want to read that book, and I hope you guys do too. It's called Unoffendable.
My guess is, and thank you for the recommendation, my guess is that that's going to be reflected in the vote this year. I believe people know that if the Democrats win this election for the presidency, all of that is going to get worse times 10 under a Kamala Harris, politically correct, DEI-driven administration. And I think you're absolutely, I hope everybody realizes that, and everybody who's sickened by it will get out and vote early and often. Well, at least early. When you can do it in person, go do it. Don't wait till Election Day. I think they're going to be really long lines. Quick break. We got Shannon Bream coming up from Fox News Sunday.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
70 eastbound, you've got some slow spots that go from 94 over to St. Charles Rock Road, passing Lucas Hunt, another delay. 170 southbound, slow from Page down to 64. 270 northbound from 55 to Manchester from an earlier crash. That's cleared. Southbound side, Page down to 64 delays. 55 northbound, Rivas Barracks up to River City Boulevard. Still heavy from a crash, just not recovering yet. Southbound side, approaching Germania. 64 and your eastbound side from Chesterfield to 170 is tight. Westbound side from Kings Highway to Big Bend and Lindbergh to 270. From the Cordell and Cordell traffic cams, I'm Trent Erickson at 816 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Sponsored by Ulta Beauty.
We've brought the Emerald City to Ulta Beauty with wicked collaborations from REM Beauty by Ariana Grande. It brushes for Ulta and OPI. Hurry in, these fantabulous products won't last long. See Wicked November 22nd, only in theaters. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
All right, can't say enough about the great folks over at Grasser Electric. Known Shane Grasser and Josh Grasser for a lot of years now. Fantastic, just salt of the earth people, and they do so much for the community, and they never want me to brag about that, but I'm going to because they give money for charitable events and raise money all the time. This is the company you want to go to if you need electrical service. Let the Grassers come out, send one of their fantastic technicians or electricians out. They're going to give you a bid on the work. I told you earlier in the year, my son, the house where he's living, they had to have some work done. They got 3 bids. Grasser was by far the most reasonable of those 3 bids, and the work was done quickly, and that's the same experience I've had with them over the years. So if you're hanging a ceiling fan and you don't have it wired for it, you got to get that done. Call Grasser. If you're redoing your entire basement and you want it wired to code and done right, call Grasser. No job is too big or too small. 636-441-5200. That's 441-5200 online at grasserelectric.com.
When the radio is away, 97.1 can still play. If you have the Odyssey app, of course. Listen to any of your favorite hosts on 97.1 through your phone. On St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
When Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com talks to people about health insurance, they tell him, 1, my premiums are too much. 2, my deductible is so high I never meet it. And 3, my doctor doesn't accept my plan anymore. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance and available all year long, so you can enroll today. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
She learned the value of hard work and responsibility at her family's small business at an early age. Ann Wagner took those same hard-working Missouri values to Washington. She's made it her job to keep the radical left from harming your job. Today, in the midst of Joe Biden's out-of-control inflation, Ann Wagner protects us by working to lower costs for families. As a mother of 3, she understands the work and has done it to keep your home and community safe. That's why Ann Wagner fought to secure our border and stop traffickers from smuggling fentanyl and illegal immigrants into our communities, and why she gave law enforcement the tools they need to defend us. And Ann Wagner took a stand against the defund the police radicals who will leave us in harm's way. She'll always back our brave law enforcement officers, putting conservative values to work for us. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message.
He's got the ammo. Marc Cox.
You're all I ever wanted. You're all I ever needed. Yeah. So tell me what to do now, 'cause I want you back.
Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now
he's unstable. He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
Get up, baby! Get up!
There's only one Shannon.
Shannon Bream, host of Fox News Sunday. Shannon Bream on the phone with us this morning. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. That was one of Brett Baer's most brilliant questions yesterday. He lured her right in with how crazy is Donald Trump, and then wanted to know, why didn't you say anything at all about Joe Biden? And she did not. She either was not prepared for that question, or she's just never going to tell the truth about it.
Well, and you have to know that certain questions are going to be coming, just like we were all a bit surprised that she was unable to, enumerate one thing she would do differently than the current Biden-Harris administration. It feels like those are questions that you're going to get. And, if President Biden is, fit as a fiddle and strong and ready for 4 more years, then why are you running instead of him? I think that's just, a question I would have expected she would have expected.
I listened to Brett talking about how not only did she show up, 10, 15 minutes late for that interview, but then on top of that, her staff was out, behind the camera wrapping him early. So I'm just curious, obviously you interview a lot of people at the Kamala Harris level. Is that common that they're just late to these interviews and then they're sitting there trying to wrap you early?
Well, hey, listen, when it's somebody who's at this level, running for the presidency, sometimes there's a lot of hurry up and wait. They've got demanding schedules. But here's the thing is that they knew, he would have preferred to do this live. You always prefer to do it live because then you don't have to worry about edits. People are seeing things in real time. But this was the deal they made because of the vice president's schedule. So when she shows up late and she knows they've got to try to turn this for the 6 p.m. show, it's already incredibly tight, even if they had 5 to 5:30. But the fact that you're then starting at 5:15, it really pushes up everything to the brink. So, yes, I have been in situations where the staff is like wrap. They don't want to step into the frame to do that because then you have video of them doing that, and that's a little awkward. But, yeah, that happens sometimes when people think, okay, enough here, we got to move on.
When we get opportunities here sometimes to get Fox News correspondents on in the morning, they tell us in advance, I got to be out by 36 because I've got another hit I got to do at the network. And we honor that.
Right.
In this case, I speculated earlier, what would happen if Brett had just kept going? If he would have said, this is so important that I'm not going to let them stop me from asking this one additional question. Because I agree with you, Shannon. I think there's no way they would have been bold enough to step into the frame because that would have looked even worse on her.
Right. That looks a little strange. And staff is going to, do everything they can short of that to actually stepping in. And then you've got them on camera pulling her away, and it looks as if they're trying to run from the interview or something. So whatever the situation is, you just don't want the optics of that. Listen, I once had President Trump call in when I was doing a nighttime show, and his folks said, you're going to get 10 minutes or whatever it was. And he just kept talking. And I thought, well, until the president himself tells me he's not answering questions, I'm just going to push it. So reporters are always going to get as much time as we possibly can until the staff has a complete meltdown.
Yeah. I love Britt Hume. I heard him say last night after this to Brett Baer, I don't think you really got anything out of her. You didn't hear anything new last night except Donald Trump. The answer to every question was, but Donald Trump. You think her handlers have just said that's his negative is his name, just keep saying it over and over again?
Probably so, because listen, their policies for the last 3.5 years, if you poll across party lines, people are very concerned about the economy. They do point the finger of blame at the current administration, at the White House. That's just what people are going to do, whether it's an R or a D in the White House when they're struggling financially. So you have to deflect. You have to talk about how he's divisive and whatever else you want to, say about him and his policies. But I thought a moment last night that was really important that may come back to be used in ads against her was when Brett was pressing her on this issue of, transgender taxpayer-funded surgeries for people who are in prison or here illegally. And she kept trying to press back to the Trump administration and said, you're responsible for what happens in your administration. And I thought they're going to use that line, and whether it's the border, the economy, they're going to take that line and run against her with that, her own soundbite.
100%. We have about a minute left, but a lot of the interviews up until now have been softball, like the sex podcast, Call Her Daddy. So Fox News obviously was probably going to be the toughest interview she faced. Does she do any more, or you think she's going to go back to the places that are a little bit more comfortable, like the CNNs?
I don't know. As my buddy Dana Perino pointed out, she should have been doing more of these. The more reps that you get, I don't know that Fox is the first one that you want to walk into that is not going to be a complete love fest. Maybe you do some other ones first and just get kind of your muscles and get your flex and get ready and go because Brett does not play. And I don't know. I think she'll do more interviews because they're going to want to, finish this out strong in the next 3 weeks.
I know she doesn't have the guts to go on Fox News Sunday. She does not want Shannon Bream.
Listen, she's always invited. Door is open.
You got a guest list already for this weekend or not?
We do. We have Governor Glenn Youngkin is going to be with us. And one of the things we're going to talk about is this DOJ lawsuit that's trying to stop Virginia from cleaning up their voter rolls when it comes to non-citizens. But we'll talk about the race more broadly as well.
Excellent. Shannon, thanks so much for your time.
Have a great week.
Yep, you too. Shannon Bream there, Fox News Sunday. Our friend, I'm sure Griff's got a few thoughts on that interview as well. We're going to find out where in the world he is and what he's covering coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, yourEyeDoc.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
That classic October feel continues on this Thursday morning. A little cold going out the door, frost on the pumpkin, but we are sunny and warmer as we go through our afternoon. 69 for the high, south wind is back. Tonight, full moon, the hunter's moon, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Friday, beautiful, sunny and 71, as is the weekend. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Reuters reports Boeing is closing in on a plan to raise around $15 billion with common shares and a mandatory convertible bond as the jetmaker bolsters finances worsened by a crippling strike. However, the timing remains unclear. The Raytheon subsidiary of defense contractor RTX has agreed to pay more than $950 million to settle Department of Justice investigations. Raytheon was charged with a scheme to bribe a high-level government official in Qatar to obtain lucrative business there, and also failed to disclose the bribes in exporting licensing applications with the State Department as legally required. The Federal Trade Commission has finalized a rule that seeks to make it easier for consumers to cancel their subscriptions. Under the click-to-cancel rule, if customers can enroll in a subscription online or through an app in one step, they should be able to cancel in one step as well. Futures are moderately higher. That's Your Money Now.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
70 eastbound, a leftover delay passing Lucas Hunt. 170 southbound, jam from Page to Forest Park Parkway with a crash. The Gapers delays go northbound as you approach Forest Park Parkway. 270 northbound, Graboy up to 64 is pretty tight. Southbound side still from Page to 64 on the brakes. You've got 55 northbound from Rivas Barracks up to River City Boulevard. That's just a little slow going through that work zone. Southbound side, same goes around Germania. 64 eastbound around Chesterfield, slow through that area. Then 170 to Big Bend. Westbound side from Kings Highway to Big Bend. I'm Trent Erickson at 8:33 on 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, time for me to brag a little bit about my friends at the range. They're going to be helping us with our First Responder Thanksgiving ATF raffle again coming up. That's going to start on November 1st, just so you know. You have a chance to win a fantastic 9mm rifle worth a couple $1,000 that we're going to raffle off and raising money for Responder Rescue. In the meantime, here's what you can do. Coming up on Friday, October 25th, so next Friday, Black Guns Matter is going to be out at the range. This is Maj Touré. If you've not heard of him, he is a musician from the Philadelphia area. He was involved in the rap scene there. He's a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, talks about a lot of social issues and what he's experienced in his life regarding guns and the Second Amendment. And he talks about firearms safety and proper storage and gun handling. It's just a wide-ranging event, and you can go for free. To register, though, they need to know how many people are coming. Make sure they have enough room. Just go to therangestl.com or solutionaryuniversity.org, one of the two, and you can get signed up there. Now, of course, the range is out at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. Love going out there. You don't have to be a member to shoot, but you can save money if you get a membership. I'll probably see you out there at some point. You can always shop online at therangestl.com.
If your family has been touched by Alzheimer's, join with 97.1 listeners and many others at St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's on Saturday, October 26th at Chesterfield Park. It's a community of support. Register today at 971talk.com/events.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. Our attorneys will hold truck drivers and owners accountable. We stand up to big trucking companies to get you the compensation you deserve. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts. Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at noon, or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
Cut through the hype. Get to the truth. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Mungary, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley. They are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those
I think it's
families
really, I think
an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
In Kyiv, Ukraine, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. Along the southern border, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. At the White House, Griff Jenkins, Fox News. In St. Louis, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Tell me where in the world is
Griff Jenkins.
Watch your back.
All right, Griff, tell me, have they repaired the hole in the wall where your head went through it as she answered that question yesterday?
Not yet. And here's a problem with that. And good morning, by the way, Mark and Kim. The problem with that answer is that when he raised, in the case of Lincoln Riley and Bill Clinton accidentally saying the quiet part out loud, that Lincoln Riley would still possibly and likely be alive, she pivoted to the border bill. Well, here's the inconvenient facts. Lincoln Riley's killer, a Venezuelan, crossed in El Paso in April of 2022 and was released by the Biden-Harris administration. And the bill she talked about being shot down, that she blames Trump for killing, was shot down in May of 2024. So 2 years nearly to the day is when the vulnerability and problem that led to Lincoln Riley's death occurred. So that bill wouldn't have done a damn thing to address that. And she deflected to the larger broken system. But at the end of the day, you know, I think the part that stood out the most for me, there was a lot there, was the and I'm not just, you know, kissing up, the brilliance of Brett playing Jocelyn Nungray, the 12-year-old kid, teenage daughter of in Houston, Texas, that was murdered by Venezuelan migrants. He played her words when she testified, blaming the Biden-Harris administration, and he said, "Do you owe her an apology?"
Yep.
And she said, "I'm so sorry for her loss," didn't apologize, and then pivoted to saying, "But let's talk about what's happening now, about an individual who doesn't want to participate in solutions," and move to Trump. And that's telling that she won't accept responsibility, and it's also telling that she fails to see what I think, and I've said this before on the show, is the biggest story of the past 4 years, and that is the chaos at the border because of the real-life tragic consequences that we see, sadly, on a near weekly, if not daily basis.
Well, what do you think of her response when Brett was talking about how the National Border Patrol Council just came out and endorsed Trump? And not only that, the president had some very strong words saying that if we allow Harris to be elected, this country is going to hell. I mean, I'm quoting right there. And I think her response was something like, well, those Border Patrol agents, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think she's just trying to pay lip service, Kim, because that is a incredible shift when their talking point was, well, the Border Patrol Union supports our border bill. Now it's turned out to, we've had enough with you. You know, I was reporting with Bill Malugin last night on Twitter or X about the number of more than half of the border surveillance cameras are now unoperational. They're not working. And why is that? Well, because those cameras identify people when they're crossing, and they allow the Border Patrol to record known gotaways, right? Known gotaways are migrants that illegally crossed, were seen or observed, and were not apprehended. They didn't catch them. And so in the field, Border Patrol makes a note of those, right? Under the Trump administration, there were 417,000. Under this administration, 1.9 million. And so when she says, "Oh yeah, I feel their pain. We've got to get more border agents out there," those words fall short against a border force of nearly 20,000 that are exhausted. The mental health and morale issues in the Border Patrol are grave, serious, and the worst they've ever been. So I don't think they took much away from it.
Yeah, you know, Griff, I'm not saying you're old, but you've been around a long time, my friend. Do you think this makes a bit of difference, her interview on Fox, or maybe she does another unfriendly interview? Do you think it makes any impact at all in these polls?
Well, we'll see. I mean, look, if I've learned anything in my geriatric stage is that when you say you know something, you don't, because it's anybody's guess.
Yeah.
And look, I think that the, fair analysis is that her team looked at the tightening of the polls, particularly now with all 7 swing states in Fox's power rankings as a toss-up, and they said, hey, you know what? We got to go in the lion's den. We got to reach out. We've got to reach those independent voters, people that really haven't been paying attention like you, Kim, and I have been doing for the last several months, that they're just arriving to it saying, hey, I got to vote in a couple of weeks. What's going on? And I'm not sure she did anything in that interview to try and clarify where her policies and where her positions will be on any given issue, immigration, economy, or otherwise. And I think the one takeaway, if I was an independent voter just sort of tuning in for the first time with popcorn and was entertained, you probably remembered that she did say that, you know, with regards of, you know, her presidency versus Biden's, that she would not be a continuation of the Biden presidency. And that's going to be something I think that sticks with people.
Is there another migrant caravan headed this way? I read that headline the other day, but I don't know what to believe. You've got enough context down there, you probably know.
I do. It's real. And, you know, migrants have been in Tapachula, the southernmost city there where they cross over from Venezuela. You've seen me floating on a raft in the Suchiate River between Guatemala and Mexico and Tapachula, and they've always had people coming there. But now it's in the thousands. There is a fellow border reporter, Todd Bensman's been down there documenting it, and I know him and I know some of these other people. And so I think what you're probably seeing, without being on the ground, I think it's pretty safe to say that you're seeing a push for whatever group of migrants were in the pipeline saying, hey, you know what? We're hearing Trump's doing well. We better get over and get across now before he gets in, because he's likely to shut the border down.
Wow. Hey, Griff, we appreciate you giving us some time this morning, my friend. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Who knows what the next 19 days will hold?
Who knows? We'll talk next week. Griff Jenkins there, live up in D.C. this morning. He's been obviously covering that issue on her immigration response. Wow. I'll let you hear from J.D. Vance. He was on Fox and Friends a bit earlier this morning responding to that interview last night. We'll get to that, and I'll tell you about a great event going on this weekend you can probably still get tickets for. We'll be right back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
170 on your northbound side, slow approaching Forest Park Parkway with gapers. Delays to a southbound crash at Forest Park Parkway. It's heavy from Page down to the crash site. 270 northbound. Delays left over from Gravois up to 64. Southbound side from Page down to 64 and 55. Northbound approaching River City Boulevard a little slow and approaching Germania on the southbound side. The 64 is 170 to Big Bend delays, and westbound side from Kings Highway over to Big Bend. I'm Trent Erickson at 846 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
All right, you have an opportunity right now to win some money toward a brand new garage door, and all you have to do is go to Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, and you can find out more about it, because they're having their sweepstakes again, where you could win up to $5,000 toward new garage doors, openers, front entry doors of your choice. It's going on all this month, so you got plenty of time to get your name in there. You can't win if you don't enter at the overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Again, overheaddoorsstlouis.com. SaintLouisGarage.com is where you go to enter. Get your $5,000 and go to work. They got some beautiful garage doors to choose from over there at the Overhead Door Company. They also provide great service. They do same-day service, free in-home estimates. All you have to do is give them a call, and they'll come over and take a look at that for you. They can do maintenance on your existing garage door, and it doesn't matter if they installed it or not. So write this number down, 314-781-5200. Put it in your phone, 314-781-5200. Put it in there under garage so you'll know when the door stops working who to call. That's the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Let's talk to Bruce Lavelle about it. He's a former executive director for National Diversity Coalition for Trump.
Look at your schools. Look at your community. You've been voting 60 years the same way.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
A lot of people, when they come in, they'll say, this is my last hope. The next step is getting them in the right arch supports. Our goal is to have that long-term change for them, to see someone that is in pain. I change things for them. See how we can help you with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Missouri's Amendment 3 is cleverly worded to convince you that it only allows abortions until fetal viability. But it has loopholes that allow for abortions through all 9 months of pregnancy. Abortion proponents used to say safe, legal, and rare. But now they want abortion as common as the morning after pill. Plus, minor-aged children will have access to sex change surgeries without parental consent. Vote no on Amendment 3.
Paid for by Leadership for America PAC, John B. Royal Treasurer.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
Winner of the prestigious Marc Cox Morning Show Award every year. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
If he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States, why is that happening?
This is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean.
In the room when major decisions were made, but we have to sort of step back and appreciate there is something pathological going on here. She has been in power for 3.5 years, and when asked about how she would be different, she goes and talks about Donald Trump. And when when it's pointed out, well, you've actually been in office for 3.5 years, she says, well, he's been talking about politics for 10 years. What is it in the mind of this person that can't just acknowledge that she has been in power for 3.5 years and bears some responsibility as the sitting vice president for the condition that the country is in?
Yeah, that's J.D. Vance on with Fox and Friends this morning, reacting to the Kamala Harris interview last night. I don't know how else you could really slice that thing up. I mean, the reaction was absolutely the same no matter who you talk to. The same with Scott Jennings, who is over on CNN. I'm sure they didn't appreciate his take on it either.
She has no answer for why Biden and Harris threw out Donald Trump's executive orders and changed everything, and then a flood of people came in. An ounce of humility here would go a long way, and she doesn't have it in her to do it, and she has no real answer other than to blame Congress. And Brett was right. Democrats controlled everything when they took over, and so is she saying it's the Democrats' fault that the immigration system is broken? I don't understand this. I don't understand why she can't just say, hindsight here, we shouldn't have done it. I think the American people would actually accept it, but she won't do it.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I know that the goal is to not say we made a mistake, we were wrong, but if she had just been transparent and said, I've learned a lot over these last 3.5 years. Looking back, it's not something I think we should have done, but we're going to do things a little bit differently, and we're going to do whatever it takes to protect the American people.
Yeah.
Would that go over well? Could that earn her some points?
Maybe, but I don't know who she's earning the points with. I just don't think many people are still undecided at this point.
I don't either.
I think this election will be determined on turnout, and I think there's going to be a groundswell of people who are still pissed off about 2020 and who want Donald Trump back in office because they've seen the disaster that is the progressive liberal Harris-Biden administration. And I said that in the reverse order for a reason. She sat in on all these meetings. She was there with all these important decisions and now wants to take zero responsibility for all of it, but says she would do nothing different if she was there again. You can't have it both ways. And I just don't think the American people are buying it. I don't think if she was the president of your company, if she was brought in as your manager, I'll guarantee you'd be going home every night complaining to your significant other about how dumb your boss is. You won't believe what my boss said to me today. You won't believe what policies she's instituted at the company now. I can't look at somebody directly in the eyes. I have to avert my eyes when I pass them in the hall out of fear of offending them.
She makes Joe Biden look a little bit better. Despite all his fumbles, I actually believe that the policies, albeit in my opinion terrible policies, were his ideas, or at least a good chunk of them. I don't think any of the policies that Kamala has on her website that was just posted, a handful of weeks ago, are her ideas.
Well,
and she can't articulate it. If push came to shove, if let's say there was some sort of huge threat to our nation's security, I am terrified at the idea of her being at the helm of that.
I'm with you completely. Tell you what, on a brighter note, let me tell you about what's going on tomorrow night. Friday the 18th is the big St. Louis Bourbon Festival. I've gone to this the last couple of years. If you are a fan at all of bourbon, you're going to love this. They fill up 4 or 5 streets down around the Lemp Mansion. It's blocked off. There's plenty of security, and there is plenty of bourbon. I mean, you can't go there and not have enough bourbon. It's every booth is giving out samples. They've got VIP tickets that get you into different areas if that's what you're looking for, or general admission. There's still tickets available if you go to stlouisbourbonfestival.com. They've got over 600 bourbons and whiskeys that you can try down there. They've got live street performers. They've got food trucks. They're going to have my friends from Lit Cigar. Brian Snyder and his folks are going to be out there with fresh cigars for people who want to partake in that. But the point is, you probably need to act soon. It's possible they could sell out. They have a limited number of tickets, and they filled that place up last year. I got there 45 minutes early, and I had a ticket, and I had to get in line and wait to get in early. They let you in about an hour before your ticketed time. So take advantage of it, and maybe I'll run into you down there somewhere tomorrow night at the St. Louis Bourbon Festival down there near the Lemp Mansion, and plenty of parking. So you won't have any trouble getting in. They recommend you Uber down there because you probably don't want to be driving when you leave.
Yeah.
I'm just
probably
saying.
fair to say. Hey, maybe you'll run into some of the city's new, what are they called, where they're walking around the city trying to patrol the streets, but they're not armed.
Oh, yeah.
The something patrol.
The Paw Patrol? No, that's not
yeah,
it.
the
What's
Paw
it called?
Patrol. Yeah.
That's what
I think
my
that's
grandson
it.
watches all the time now.
Yeah.
No, you might. You might run into some of the social workers down there. They probably need to drink after what they've seen the past week, don't you think?
I'd love to interview one of those people and be like, how's it going so far? What kind of things have you run into?
Have any idea what you were getting into?
Or do you want to quit already?
Do you want a handgun? Because that might come in handy.
Here, let me take your slingshot from you.
All right. Well, tell you what, Kilmeade is up next. I'm sure he'll have more on that Harris interview. He probably talked to Brett Baer personally. And we'll get to all that for you. You got Andy Fry, Mark Reardon later today. Kim and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Right now, 38 states allow for sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 gives Missouri sports fans the freedom to bet on games, too. And that will generate over $100 million for our schools without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and Missouri's 2 professional soccer teams, the KC Current and St. Louis City. These days, Republicans and Democrats don't agree on much, but the Republican and Democratic candidates for governor are both supporting Amendment 2 because it means more money for education. Amendment 2 isn't like the lottery. There's a strong constitutional guarantee. The new money from sports betting will go to our schools. $100 million for education without raising property taxes. Amendment 2 is endorsed by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the Kansas City Star. Vote yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education. Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
If you had a crystal ball, you wouldn't agonize over when to sell your home. You just ask, should I sell while my home's value is sky high? Or wait and hope the bottom doesn't drop out of the housing market? The thing is, I'm not ready to move. You don't need a crystal ball with Truehold Sell and Stay. You can literally sell now and move when you're ready. When you sell your home to Truehold, you can cash out your home's equity quickly and easily, and you can stay in your home with a flexible standard lease. Truehold pays property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs too. Truehold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a no-obligation offer now while home values are sky high. You could use the money to secure your retirement, pay off bills, or finance your dreams. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's equity without moving. That's Truehold.com. Terms and conditions apply. See website for more details.
Have you set your appointment up yet to have your furnace checked to make sure you are good and ready to go for this winter? It's really, really a great idea to have it done for your own peace of mind